internet is slow. Hello, everyone. I hope that this is working. Uh, I am here today with a very special guest, and I found this channel accidentally, and then I got a lot of people recommending it after I checked it out. So, sir, would you like to introduce yourself to everyone?
What's up? What's up? My name is Eric July, aka Young Group of Five Nine, streamer, comic book commentator, political commentator, social commentator, and of course a musician frontman of Billboard charting Backwards, which is a metal hardcore, uh, apolitical act, if you will. So most definitely glad I'm here, glad we're here, glad we can connect. Obviously, we share the common enemy, like we was talking about off air, and we talk about some similar things. So I do love the fact that we're like linking up and sort of doing our thing here.
Yeah, it's cool. So I was telling you earlier, but I will let everyone in the chat know. So I was cleaning my studio because a lot of you guys were freaking out that I had my action figures in a pile right here. So I was doing good. I was cleaning. I was organizing them. They are going, when I get my display case, they're going to look beautiful. But for now, you guys like tidiness, so it's tidy. So I was tidying up, and then, videos come on autoplay sometimes. And I'm cleaning, and I just hear Eric start talking about Batman, and I was like, who is this dude? He's cool. And so I watched a couple of his videos. We seem to have a lot in common, especially regarding Captain Marvel.
Jesus Christ. Where do we even start with that? But yeah, the Batman video, for those that don't know, it was I can't tell you who the guy is, but he has a blue check mark. That doesn't really mean anything, but he does have a blue check mark. And it was some dude that was talking about wanting not even Batman, specifically Bruce Wayne of all people, to be a black guy. It was the stupidest argument, non-position that I've ever heard, man. And it does lead off into like what's going down with Captain Marvel, and when you see this sort of social justice infiltration of the things that we know and love in comics, and it's frustrating. It's whack. It's lazy. I can go on for days, but for sure with this Captain Marvel stuff, I mean, it's getting pathetic. I mean, because people are turning I guess they're attacking us for being in opposition. It's not even necessarily being in opposition to the movie itself, but more so being in opposition to what they try to portray this movie as, and they completely ignore source material. This is where the geek in me, I have a problem where they completely ignore source material, ignore canon, ignore continuity. The fact that Captain Marvel has been established, we know Carol Danvers is a decade old, or a few decades old of a character, but Captain Marvel, she only really recently became Captain Marvel within this recent decade. And the fact that she got slid in as this hero, at least so we think, right after the biggest cliffhanger ever in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then right before the ultimate end game, no pun intended. So it's all weird, right? A character that has never really been liked within the actual comic book, like the nerds. We're not fond of Captain Marvel like that. Even the recent issues, like issue 1 and 2 of the new Captain Marvel, you can go to any local comic shop, for example, and there's all sitting on the shelf. Nobody's buying this crap. You know what I mean?
It's like the Rose Tico of
yeah. Nobody's buying this, man. But no, for sure, like it's just weird. And they kind of reinforced this idea that we thought it was a weird placement when these guys are saying these silly stuff. What Brie Larson is saying on the promotional campaign, and also what I guess a lot of commentators are trying to portray this as this sort of uber feminist, uber social justice movie. And it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe has done a great job in straying away from that. So, you can imagine why we feel the way that we feel.
Yeah, no kidding. I remember I watched one of your videos. It was the one about kids and how, telling kids, teaching kids, oh, you have to like this movie because you're represented in this movie. It's like, me as a little kid, I watched Batman. Batman is obviously he's not the same as me. He's a full-grown freaking man. I'm obviously not a full-grown man. And I love Batman. I could respect that this guy lost his parents and all he wanted was to bring justice, but he didn't agree with the justice system, so he took it into his own hands. He's trying to help people and do something that the justice system can't. I could respect that. I wasn't, sitting there like, oh my God, he's not Portuguese. He's not a girl. Like, I can't live up to him,
Yeah, no, like that is, and I talked about that obviously in the video about how a lot of the characters that I grew up, I found an ability to relate to them in other ways. Batman was one because I grew up without a father. He grew up, Bruce Wayne grew up without a father. Flash was the example that I used when I was really, really young. He was probably the character that I loved the most because he was fast. And I was a great athlete, collegiate athlete on top of that. Being a sprinter pretty much my entire life up until 5 or so years ago. So it's like that was part of my life. So I was able to relate to the Barrier Islands and the Wally West of the world just because of that power base and because and they weren't of my race. And there are black characters that I may have not been fond of. Then there are black characters that I did. Like got Luke Cage and who was that? Blade and Black Panther back there. These are characters that I grew up and I loved as well. But it wasn't the fact that they were black and an ability that I had to relate to them. And this is where I think why I have such a big problem with the social justice left in that regards, and they overemphasize this element of diversity and representation because, like you had just mentioned, they are reinforcing this idea that you need specifically the Hollywood left, but you need like someone that looks like you, like they're limiting your ability to relate with other human beings, right? To relate to other human beings to what your color is or what your gender is, what your sexuality is. And that's a problem. That's something that they're instilling in these kids, and they grew up and they cling to these ideas that, oh, well, I have to be represented. This person has to look like me. This person has to be the same color of me in order for me to love this character, in order for me to relate to these characters. And what they really do is when they do this crap with like in Hollywood, like with this Brie Larson situation, like you're seeing these tweets, we've done videos about it, tweets that are saying that they're not for men, right? They're for one chick said it's not for men or women. They're for the kids, right? Who have to look at these. It's like, what is this? We're inflating these egos of the Hollywood elites and saying that we need our kids. Those are the last people that you need your kids paying attention to like that. So again, it's irritating that they enforce that idea, but it is toxic. And this is why I probably combat that a lot more than other individuals, certainly in our camp, do, because I take that very serious, that they're instilling that quality, that trait in individuals that young. You know what I mean? And they're reinforcing and saying, well, the representation. In order, your self-esteem, your ability to feel good about yourself is relying upon the external, is relied upon fictional characters, is relying upon the Hollywood elites. That's such a dangerous and toxic thing to instill in these youngsters.
Oh, I know. And like, especially when Brie Larson is going around preaching this, I'm like, girl, you live in like Beverly Hills. You're one of the most privileged women ever. And you're going on this campaign to, help little girls go and see your movie. And it's like, you can afford it. It wouldn't even cost you your entire paycheck. Like, this is like a fraction of the money that you get. And you want to go help these underprivileged girls by buying them tickets to your movie. Well, you're not even buying it. You want other people. You want, middle-class people that actually go and work a 9-to-5 job to go and donate money so you can get money for your movie. It's like,
that when I heard about that, I mean, that's so rotten on different levels. Again, they're trying to inflate the sales because all that money is going just straight to Marvel, straight to Disney, in this film, right? So for them to reinforce, they're also reinforcing that idea that we had just spoke about, in which they're saying, oh, well, these kids, it's about me, look up to me, I'm the savior, you know what I mean? And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Like you said, you could have just paid out of pocket if that was legitimately what you want to get away for these underprivileged kids. You just pay out of pocket, but that's not what they're doing. They're forcing everybody. Well, not forcing, but they're saying that other individuals should foot the bill. But it's crooked and it's rotten in more ways than one. Not just at the surface level of, okay, yeah, you're going to inflate the box office for the people that are involved in this. So when you look at it like that, it's like that's really, really crooked. But again, going back to this idea of reinforcing this clown crap that people should cling or look up to, these Hollywood elites. That is a dangerous thing to instill in these kids. And I can't say enough, man, as a parent, man, like you got to watch out for stuff like that. Like, don't reinforce. That's not something that you want to reinforce, because what it is saying that, again, I have to depend upon these individuals, and these people have to speak on my behalf, and you're not worrying about self. You're not worried about your own personal self-esteem, your own, and this is why people's mental health is so jacked up these days, because they're looking at everybody else to be the savior of their own individual lives. And that's not something that started yesterday. It's the stuff that they clung to from a very young age. And that's why I have a big problem. I'm really offended at the fact that people instill that trait in people that are kids, man. That's just not a good thing.
Oh, no kidding. And I think one of the beautiful things that like comic books and movies gave to kids was it allows you to relate to people that are different than you.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
you can look at characters like Green Lantern. And I mean, when I first got introduced to Green Lantern, because my mom thought I was weird enough already, she wouldn't let me read comic books or like do any of that. So she owned an antique store when I was a kid, and there was this guy that had he was the cool booth. He had all the Star Wars action figures, the X-Files, but he had a couple comic books. The one I was allowed to read because it was open was a Dr. Fate comic, but
Nice.
he came in one day to restock, and he's like, you should really, watch the Justice League show. And I was like, oh, I don't have it. And he had a DVD with him, and it was the one episode with, oh my gosh, Hot Girl and Green Lantern, and that was the version where he's black, and that was the first time I was introduced to Green Lantern. So in my head, that's Green Lantern, and I really liked him. I didn't care that he's not the same skin tone as me, that he's not the same gender as me. I thought he was cool, and he wasn't putting up with hot girl shit. And I was like, you go, dude. I would 100% back you up. She betrayed you. Yeah, tell her to F off kind of thing.
Yeah, most definitely. No, like I said, it's just that in it. That's, I think, what's attractive to comics and why I love this industry, no matter what fate that it's in right now, which I think it's on the downtrend. But this is why I love it, because I do come across other people of different walks of life, because there's a little something, certainly for everything, for everybody. But like you said, I mean, we can enjoy these characters, and we don't have to feel like, all right, well, they have to look like us. Like some of my favorite characters, like back here, that I've really enjoyed some of the storytelling elements, and I've been able to enjoy these characters. I mean, and they weren't all of the same race as me. I mean, think about it. I mean, think about how limiting that is. Even when we look at somebody like Black Panther, what do I really share in common other than skin tone? So you're saying like I can't relate more to like a Batman. Batman doesn't have superpowers. I don't have superpowers. Batman lost his father. I didn't lose him in the same way that he did, but mine wasn't around. So I can't relate. I got a big ass problem with the justice system, if you will. Obviously, Batman does as well, which is why he took it in his own hands. So what do you mean to tip? Like, and then we look at guys like, T'Challa, who is from, he's rich, inherited, and Bruce Wayne inherited wealth ends, but he's rich, really from a completely different, continent. Like, if we want to get to the nitty gritty, he's a lot. Only thing we really share in common is the fact that we are of the same color. So my thing is, like, you're telling me that I can't, but again, I love Black Panther. He's one of my favorite characters, but I mean, if we want to get to the real, like, what other than my skin tone, the fact that we're both male, like, do we have in common? I can go to other characters that I have way more in common with, that I also enjoy. So we can't limit it. And this is what I think the social justice warrior type freak out, because they like to believe or like to perpetuate the idea to the contrary. And that is that we do enjoy other characters that look different from us. You know what I mean? I got all these, Wonder Woman right here. You guys can see his Catwoman back there. I love these female characters.
Yeah, Catwoman is my favorite.
Yeah, there you go. Like, I mean, my favorite right now, like, this is what the Black Widow issue number. This is my favorite run right now. My favorite comic right now. And I've been on record saying this. I'm not just talking out my bunhole. Like, right now, this Black Widow running by with the Soska sisters right now is my favorite run in comics right now. It's a female character that I don't look anything like. So,
Yeah.
but I love it. I thoroughly enjoy that. So these people want to perpetuate these ideas that we don't enjoy these characters, like and this is why they lie and say, oh well, we need more diversity, we need more quote unquote equality, if you will, because people need to be represented. Like, wait a minute, there's so many comics has a diverse group of individuals that love it, and we all love different characters of different races. This wasn't a problem until you kind of frauded your way into acting as if it was a problem. This was never anything. This was never an issue. This idea that I guess comics or the culture lacked diversity or needed more of these sort of tokenized characters is just horse crap. That is a completely artificial problem that was created by the social justice left.
Oh, seriously. And I remember I was living in San Francisco, so I was surrounded by all these SJWs. I lived with one for a long time. And when I was, in my bubble, because I went to art school. I don't know how much you know about my background, but
yeah,
I went to art school so I could be a concept artist for movies because I loved Ralph McQuarrie's art. I always wanted to be an astronaut, but I'm horrible at math. So I was like, you know what? If I can't go into outer space, I can draw it and I can create all these universes, for movies, for, animations, for video games. And so I kind of lived in my own I lived in San Francisco, but I lived in a bubble. I was constantly drawing. I wasn't paying attention to anything that was going on with the news. So I didn't really notice all of this until Star Wars came out, but I do remember one specific time was one of my roommates, she was really into cosplaying, and she was, making all of these costumes because she did like this it was like an Iron Man meets like Megatron, but Sailor Moon version.
Oh, snaps.
Yeah, that was all kinds of weird. But
wow.
it was cool when she did it because she made it out of cardboard and everything, but it looked dope.
Yeah.
And one of the things that she was talking about, she's like, oh, like I really like how they're adding, and she's one of those people that she only likes it for the look because that's what she was interested in. She was interested in, designing costumes and stuff for, animation. So she said specifically, and I remember this is one of the things that stuck out, even though this happened like 5 years ago, was she said that she likes how they're adding all these new characters and they're bringing other people out. So that way it's easier for her to cosplay because now it's easier for her to find a character that looks like her. And I was like, I didn't even notice that. So at first I was like, maybe that's why they're doing it because, so that way, kind of in Star Wars, you have an action figure of even the random characters that were just in the background of one scene in one movie for like one split second, and they have an action figure. So now they're bringing up superheroes or characters that, just so that way they can have some representation. But once I got more into it, I'm like, okay, well, you want to beat Thanos. Okay, where's Adam Warlock?
Yeah. Where is Warlock? Where's the OG Captain Marvel, the first one to actually do it in the Cosmic Cube art? Marvel, the OG Captain Marvel. Where is he? Where is and like you said, where is Adam Warlock, who's done it twice? He's defeated Thanos twice. Captain Marvel did it first, the OG Captain Marvel, and then Warlock did it, and then he did it again after he took the gauntlet from him. So it's like, where is this character? And the funny thing is, they alluded to Warlock in what was that? Guardians of the Galaxy 2, when Aisha, which is his female counterpart, they showed the cocoon at the end credit scene and said, she said, I called him Adam. Now that was weird because that shouldn't have been the way that Adam was created. But in that too, that's obviously Adam Warlock. So I was like, oh, that makes sense. That goes back to, we can talk to the source material. That would make a lot of sense. If the person that is going to pop up and defeat Thanos was Adam Warlock, that makes 100% sense. But again, I don't want to jump the gun because maybe I did a video. I did a top 5 top 5 possible endings of Captain Marvel. My number 1 was that she dies, Carol Danvers dies, or she is one of the ones that went into dust. That would be the ideal. Maybe they led us on to believe it, but the way that it's looking and appearing is that she's going to come and save the day, and that doesn't make any sort of sense when it comes to the source material, and that will solidify the idea that a lot of people are alluding to, and that is that Well, they slid her in there for the one reason being they wanted to overemphasize feminism. They wanted to overemphasize girl power stuff, because this doesn't make any sense when it comes to the source material of just the comics. Captain Marvel, that version, this Carol Danvers version, should not be the one defeating Thanos, and it wouldn't make sense if that's the case. Now, again, I try to give them some credit because, or at least a little leeway, and say, look, maybe that won't be the case. But I mean, I guess time will tell that whatever happens at the end of this upcoming movie, which we're a few days away. But I mean, the way that it's looking, man, it's looking that they're gonna bring her in. She's gonna one punch Thanos, and we're gonna be through, and it's gonna be like, that's gonna make me barf. And you want to see? I'm gonna be going on hellified rants. It's gonna be some good material. Maybe they should do that, because I'm gonna be monetizing the hell out of that idea. If they go there, I'm gonna have video on top of video on top of video, if that's the route that they go. And we go if they go there. But I mean, in all honesty, because I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe has done a decent job, I hope to God that's not the route that they go.
Seriously, I hope so too. And so my channel just recently blew up. I was at, about, a little bit over 20,000 subscribers. And then I did this video explain, and I had talked about this in a live stream on the Geeks and Gamers channel. And I wanted to, make a video about it, because it was just kind of irritating how they're like, oh, female empowerment. And I'm like, oh my gosh, just because I'm a woman doesn't mean I need, I've already had women. I've had Laura Croft. I had Princess Leia. I had, Ellen Ripley, Sarah Connor. I've had all of these amazing women to look up to my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need you to just put this token character. Even look at Black Widow. Look at Scarlet Witch.
Oh yeah, those people, they're already there. Yeah.
They would be. That's something that you could really do.
I would have thought that a Black Widow movie was for sure coming. I would have been all over that. I would have been all over. I think a lot of males within our community would have been all over that had they dropped. Had they dropped that, I think they would have been all over that. But you got to understand why people are confused by this. It's like, why now? There's been nobody has alluded to Captain Marvel ever existing in this universe. Exactly. And it actually hurts them. If she's gonna save the day, it hurts the idea, because this takes place decades before the current timeline, if you will. So it's like this character, it's just random. It's just like, all right, I feel like it was a checkbox. It makes it feel like it was a checkbox, like that. This character onto us, because again, when you go to the source material, when have you ever on any Halloween heard a little girl say, I wanted to be Captain Marvel? Who the hell?
Nobody knew she was.
Bingo, exactly. Nobody knew, other than the nerds like myself. Nobody knew who Captain Marvel was. She was never
I heard about Captain Marvel. It was a man, and she was Miss Marvel.
Bingo, yeah. That was what, at least at the very least, the other individuals would have known. They would have known her as Miss Marvel. They would have known the other Captain Marvel, like Marvel. When I think Captain Marvel, if you're not talking Shazam Captain Marvel, you're talking about Marvel Captain Marvel. But Miss or Carol, definitely, because again, this happened this recent decade. Her becoming Captain Marvel is something that literally just happened, man. She inherited the name but as a default, and that just happened within this past decade. And they have rebooted her. I don't know what, since that she came, that was like 2012, 2011 when she became Captain Marvel. And since then, imagine the amount of reboots they've been trying to force this character on. And what I really think, and we talked about some of this off air, but I really think that they saw Wonder Woman. They see that DC has those standalone female characters. It's not just Wonder Woman. It's the Catwomans of the world. It's the Poison Ivies of the world. They have iconic, Harley Quinn. They have iconic female characters that don't need team affiliation. Marvel doesn't really have that. They do have like Storm and Rogue and Jean Grey, like they have them, but you think X-Men when you think them. Like Wonder Woman can stand alone. Wonder Woman doesn't need the damn Justice League. You know what I mean? Like they could have their own runs, and people are going to be all over that. And I think Marvel was like, damn, they have that. We need that. And now they're trying, it's not an authentic, it's not a, it's more artificial because, like I said, nobody has liked the character in the comics. And now they're like throwing this promotion, all this promotion on her, even though we didn't want this. We didn't ask for this shit. Like nobody wanted a Captain Marvel movie. Nobody was like, man, you know what would be really cool if we got a Carol Danvers Captain Marvel movie. Nobody said that crap.
We've been waiting for Black Widow since Iron Man freaking 2.
That's what I'm saying. Like we've been waiting for that. They've been alluding to the fact that it's going to exist, but we've been waiting for that. We don't want no damn. Who the hell wanted a Captain Marvel? So,
like you could have Monica Rambeau. So if you want to push this narrative, because they were just on this Black Panther thing, and I know a lot of people didn't like the marketing. I actually enjoyed Black Panther. My only problem was I really like villains in movies. I felt like they killed off, and I call actors or characters by their name of the most iconic actor. So I didn't like that they killed Smeagol off so fast. I was like, oh, Ultron, I've been waiting for you, and you just die? Like, what the hell was that? And I was totally on, Michael B. Jordan's side. I was like, if some dude came to my house and shot my father, I'd want fucking revenge. I was exiled from my home country. But he's just such a pleasant guy that I couldn't take him. He's a great actor, but he's just so happy. I mean,
it didn't feel like a villain. Like it was a more unorthodox villainry. Like he wasn't cutthroat as a villain. Like when I think
exactly. But, I mean, again, I like him as an actor. I really liked Creed. I haven't seen Creed
hell yeah.
yet, but I really liked the movie, and a lot of people didn't like parts of it because they said it got too preachy, but I was like, I'm in the theater crying because I'm like, when he's dying and he pulls this, I'm like, oh, he's just like, I'd rather just die, and I was like, I respect that, bro. Like, I understand why you did everything that you did. I'm not against you, kind of thing. But killing people is wrong, obviously. Like, I'm against that, but I get where you're coming from, type of thing. And so I'm like, why wouldn't they go on the whole Monica Rambeau kick? Why wouldn't they get a blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman?
They got the whitewashed of Captain Marvel, right? A female Captain. The second official Captain Marvel was Monica Rambeau. The first female Captain Marvel was Monica Rambeau. So if you wanted to go full social justice,
if you wanted to push diversity, that
was the way they could have did it. But they didn't. They got, and this is why this is more on my political tip. Why I think that I always talk about white leftists and the white elitist leftism, and how they act like they're for liberating the minority, but it's not really what that is. What it is like they want to be the ones to funnel it in. It's about ego massage. You know what I mean? That's why Brie Larson can go on, go wherever she's gonna go and say, well, we need more diversity here. We need less money. It's like, no, it's not about her giving a damn about giving other people opportunities. What it is, all right, well, I feel good about it. I'm the one that's ushering this in. So y'all, at least, y'all can have y'all scraps here, but I'm the one that's on top. It's not authentic by any means. But yeah, if they wanted to go full social justice, if they wanted to, if it was about a diversity, or they had an opportunity right there to go, because just as she has no connection really to what's going down right now, Carol Danvers, the other Monica Rambeau, doesn't either. So, or it's the other Captain Marvel and Monica Rambeau doesn't either. So if they wanted to go all out, they could have went all out, but they didn't. They went and got the one,
the blonde hair, blue-eyed girl that won one Oscar.
Yeah, like the one nobody cared. Like, again, I didn't even know
one that can't sell. Let's get the one that doesn't sell, and let's make a movie about it. And this was a video that blew up. I literally talked. I'm like, okay, you want to push female empowerment. You want to make us stand behind this woman. Okay, why didn't you give her 3 movies? This takes place in the 90s. Why didn't you make your first movie and start off with that statement? This is, Marvel. Here is Captain Marvel. Introduce, Carol Danvers. Give her 3 movies, which would make sense why she hasn't come into contact with the Avengers. Just like, we saw Iron Man. Iron Man and Thor started off the same. They're both spoiled, rotten brats. That just happened to have, Iron Man, Tony Stark, he's a genius. Thor's a freaking god. And we watch them evolve. So when we see, Tony Stark on the planet facing Thanos, you're like, you respect Tony Stark. You know Tony Stark will take
He
care of
started
business.
it. Yeah.
His evolution,
Yeah.
and we've seen all these other characters. So just throwing her in at the last second, Nick Fury's calling her. No one else was able to defeat Thanos, but let me call Captain
Yeah.
Marvel.
Let me call this one character that we've never mentioned ever
Save us.
in
No.
20 damn movies. It feels like we've never mentioned this character. Here she is, Captain Marvel. I was like, what the hell is this? Because I remember when I saw the symbol, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. I was like, this isn't right. This isn't what just happened. I didn't just see that, and I was looking it up, online. I was like, wait a minute, they just did that. They literally just brought a character out of nowhere that nobody liked, and are trying to force her upon everybody. And again, it's in the marketing campaign, like she's stronger than the other characters, like she's coming to save the day. Yeah. Like, that's weird, man. That's weird. So, of course, I feel like we're in our right to suggest that this is a setup. We're in our right to suggest that there's an agenda here. When a character that nobody has ever liked pops up out of nowhere and says, I'm coming to save the damn day. And it doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. And, of course, we can go to Brie Larson. We can talk about Brie Larson and her own personal actions and what she's done to or what she said to really hurt this movie, you know what I mean, in terms of or what she's saying on the promotional campaign, that is. So yeah, we're in our right to say, look, man, this looks like a setup. But the reason why I don't think it's so, well, I don't know if they know, they should know, but the social justice types, they have to understand that this is a self-inflicted wound, bro. Like, this is self-inflicted.
Social justice. They like do something and then it bites them, and they're just like, "Oh, I'm gonna play the victim. Like you misunderstood me. You don't understand what we're trying to say." And it's like just what happened to you on Twitter? Like,
oh yeah.
I'm gonna cuss, guys. I'm just gonna warn you right now. I know you guys, some of you like to have your kids watch. I am gonna cuss because this is kind of bullshit. So he made a video. This bitch comes up, takes a freaking clip from his video, posts it on Twitter, calling him out. It's like, and this is something that I have to deal with too, is I'm like, you didn't have to watch the content. There's millions upon millions of videos on YouTube. You don't like something, watch something else. Don't go and take something that you like that somebody said, go blast them on social media, and then play the victim when they're like, hey, obviously you're gonna defend yourself. I defend myself all the time. And it's like, you were the one that started it.
You initiated the conflict.
You went out of your way to start this fight, and now you want to like, oh, don't attack me. It's like
it's personifies like that movement, right? And that they want to swing at you, and then when you swing back, they cry foul. That's what happened to me, and then with the suspension that I'm serving right now, and that's what they do just in general when they do some shit, and then we come through and we're like, wait a minute. You ain't about no. You're not getting away with that, bro. Like, definitely when they're coming in contact with us, and like she did with me, and when she's posting my picture, posting my likeness, what the hell? Of course, I was gonna be like, you got me, effed up. Like, wait a minute now. And again, crying foul, man. It's like, oh well, we got to get these people off of social media, deplatform hate, because what they try to do is lump us all in these boxes.
That's the hypocrisy of it.
Bingo. It's a performative contradiction. They try to put us in these boxes, all of us. And what they don't understand, these people that are, I guess, on the opposite side of them come from a lot of different philosophical grounds. Like myself, like using me and EVS, because, as an example, from a philosophical and political ground, like we don't like this crap in comics, but he's a MAGA guy. That's not me. You know what I mean? I'm an anarchist. You know what I mean? So I'm an anarcho-capitalist. I'm a libertarian to the logical conclusion. So I'm not there, but we're all different. We just see that there is a objective issue, certainly in the industry, that we know and love, man. And these people are infiltrating it. They're infesting it with their garbage, and we are combating that. But they put us all in the group as if we're all the same. They act like we're all racist, all bigots, all sexist, all hate, a part of hate. And they are the ones that, again, initiated so much of the conflict that exists right now. And it's so annoying to me, because I used to deal with that. That's high school crap. people running up on you, they swing first and you whoop they ass, and then they try to, oh well, he did this and this. Like, wait a minute, dog, I didn't want to fight, I wanted no part of this, but you started this, I just finished it, you know what I mean? But you can't punch at somebody, man, and cry foul, but they are so intellectually dishonest. And with the video that I uploaded right before we went online, I was talking about how, like, your community, my community, is a lot of other communities that are coming together. And I think it's very important if we're going to combat this, because these people are getting louder. And the only reason that they are able to do this is because folks like us for a period of time didn't really exist in our subcultures. And if we did exist, we were quiet, right? Nobody really said, like,
I literally stay in my studio and I draw. I'm not the type of person that goes out. Like, if you and I met, like, obviously you're wearing your Flash hat, I would be like, oh, that's a cool hat. Like, I think it to myself. I'd probably say, like, oh, that, like, that's a cool hat to my friend that I'm with, because I don't really like to go out by myself because I'm very socially awkward. But I just like, oh, that's cool, we have something in common. But I probably wouldn't say anything. I'm just minding my own business. But I agree with you on, all of these SJWs, they're trying to, start all this shit and drama, and all of us that love all this stuff, it's awesome how it's like we're all coming together. And it's like, yeah, you have, someone like me. I grew up in California. You're in Texas, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're in Texas. You and I would have never met if it wouldn't have been for them starting shit.
That's
people
true.
like me and Jeremy. He's from Florida. I'm in California. Again, we would have never met. I would have never in a million years thought I'd be talking to Ethan Van Sciver.
Yeah, right. Oh, gee, yeah.
It sucks that this shit's happening, but I'm glad that I get to, meet cool people like you.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think that is the most intriguing thing about this. I love about social media. It's something that I always discuss on the political side when I'm doing my, speaking engagements and stuff like that, talking about people moving. We want to move towards a freer society. And I'm talking about libertarians always needing to get out there. And the social media aspect is the one thing that has benefited us, and it has some negatives, but one of the big positives is that it's allowed us to connect with individuals that we otherwise would have never known existed had that not existed. So we all come together because, again, we see a problem in our subcultures that we are a part of, and we want to attack those problems. We want to address those problems. And I think, again, there are strengths in numbers. And I think this is something worth fighting for. I think it's something worth defeating, because SJWs, bro, they infiltrate all these different things, man. And it doesn't stop there. You know what I mean? It doesn't stop there. Like, they've gone in, again, I don't want to get too political with it, but it started with the educational system. And they got the arts. This is decades worth of getting to where they're at, which is why all of the Hollywood elites have the same damn political opinions. It feels like it's like they're being put through the same grinder, and it's really weird. But those are years and years and years of these people infiltrating these markets and becoming shot callers within them. So they don't stop there. So if you think that, because I would have never thought even 10 years ago that we'd be having this conversation with comics. I would have never thought we would have been having this stupid conversation.
Nobody was into it back then.
Bingo.
I got teased because I had a Star Wars t-shirt on when I was in school.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you like Star Wars? That's weird. And so I, like, even though it's aimed at kids, I couldn't have a conversation with the other kids about Star Wars. I had to go home and talk about it with my dad. My mom would because my mom, she was like an art historian. So what her specialty was like artifacts. So she used to travel before my sisters were born with me and go to like different places and like tell people, oh, okay, you have like this desk that was on the Mayflower type of thing, and she'd tell them how much it was worth. And that's just like some special ability that my mother had. But one of the things that she did for me, which is because me and my mother have a very strange relationship, which is why I really connected to Batman, but my mother would take me to antique stores, which is where they had all the OG Star Wars stuff. And I, being a small child, would talk to older people about Star Wars and have full-on conversations with them, and I related more to people that were like middle-aged. Oh, what was that?
Yeah.
What was that? I think my mic just went crazy. But and so, but nowadays it's like everyone has Google. And do you ever have this in your comment section where it's like somebody obviously went on Google and Googled everything and they went on
Copied it,
Wikipedia, and then they try to fact check you and it's like, oh my God, I know you have Google.
Dude, oh my God. Like, dog, I'm not even playing around. I literally mentioned that in my video about how these are posers, bro. Like, I put comics in two different tiers. I put guys like myself who have thousands upon thousands of this material that read it on the daily basis. And then you have guys that are like the second tier, which know it at the surface level. And they they know about the character. Somebody iconic. Batman, for example, is a part of American culture. You don't have to read a comic to know who he exists.
You can go to any country in the world and show a kid the symbol of Batman or show the symbol of Superman, and they will know who it is.
Bingo. Like it's part of a culture. So there's those individuals, and I have absolutely no problem with those people being a part of those tiers. But then you got those outsiders, which is usually these social justice leftists, that have no idea, and they all read from the same damn script. And they're like, it's like a copy and paste. Or well, you must like, it's like the X-Men thing with social justice. I hear that more than anything. Oh, social justice has always been a part of comics. You ever heard of the X-Men? I'm like, dog, that actually proves your nonsense to the contrary. Let's assume that Professor X and Magneto represent Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. They did that in a way that did not feel like they were beating over your head like Captain, like number this what do I have this? Is this it right here? Yeah, this garbage of a book right here. Captain Marvel issue number 1, like where Machismo just pops up out of nowhere and she says something along the lines of, well, I'm not losing to some 7-foot misogynist. Like, that's the corniest, laziest way to attack.
It's not good writing.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible.
It's lazy.
So, X-Men, if that's the case, actually proves their ideas to the contrary, because they were able to attack an issue, a relevant issue at the time, and do it in a more creative way. It's the same thing with Black Widow right now, in which they're attacking the issue of human trafficking, pedophilia, and stuff like that. It's not no rah-rah girl power, any of that. It's just really, really good, solid writing with strong female heroes, which is why I absolutely love it. So these guys are this is why I be calling them on their bluff, bro. Like, these guys are posers, man. Like, copy paste. And the one thing I love, and I know you'll have this, like, you would know the people that know this stuff with comics because they pay attention to detail, and they have like the source material. Like, when I be having these conversations online, I'm like, and they'll say, man, this and that about Captain Marvel, or this and that about Captain. I'm like, what issue are you reading this from? Like, please source me the material. And they always go ghost. It's like that shit. Well, I don't want to mention
Google. They're gonna use that as an argument, and it's like you can straight up tell that. Like,
like you posing, bro. You don't really know, and it's like you can tell the people that really enjoy and love this material. Like, I see your background, all of this Star Wars stuff. My stuff has all. I got comics, I got merchandise, and it's like that chick that got me suspended. She has a live stream, or she was being interviewed.
I've never watched any of
it. Is the most watch it. Okay. It is the most funniest thing, because she first of all, you can tell that she knows absolutely nothing about the industry, but there's nothing in the background, and I'm paying attention to this stuff, that indicates she has ever given a damn about comics. Ever. There's like, I'm looking like, where's the long boxes? I don't see any merch. Like, where I don't think this person actually reads comics. She just exists to try to, and this is what the social justice leftists, this is what they do. What they do is they try to utilize the following, this decades of grinding, building fan bases. They try to use the pre-established characters to they piggyback off of that to enforce whatever agenda that they have. You know what I mean? They wouldn't dare create their own and try to do that, because again, when they do that, we don't read the shit. That comic is social justice. Comic's gonna stay on the rack. We don't want to hear anything about that. But what they recognize that is an attack that's going to work. So why don't we just, we have this established character that's been existing for decades on decades on decades. Let's just make Iceman gay out of nowhere. Like, what the fuck? Like, what? That doesn't even make sense. Like, what? Let's just
this is the story because he's in love with Rogue.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it doesn't, like, it makes zero sense. But all right, let's just make Iceman. It's like, why? Why did that happen? That was something that did not have to happen. It was pointless. It ruins, again, just source material.
They have a checkbox. They need their token gay character. They need their token black character. They need their token Asian. They need transgender characters. And like, you know what? If you want to create this, you want, there to be a very prominently gay superhero, which I don't know how that comes in at all to them having superpowers and then fighting, the forces of evil.
Man, right.
Unless it was something along the lines of, they had a lover or something and their lover, went bad and it's about their battle trying to, save the person they loved without killing them. That could be a story. If you actually took the time to, actually research how to, create good characters, do world building and write this character and create it, in a way that, people can relate to them, people can like them and do that, then yeah, people will stand behind you. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, the story that I just described, that's something I would go see. I wouldn't care that, I'm a straight woman and I'm watching a story about, two gay men. I wouldn't care because I would, I know what it's like to, be in love with someone and I would know how it feels like if that person, went bad and I would have to try to save them.
Yep. No, that's
they do that instead of just ruining already established characters.
That's exactly what they do. It's a check box, and they're rather ruin the character. And the thing is, definitely when it comes to comics, right? Like these characters, they exist, like the white characters, for example, white male characters. The reason why a lot of these guys are so good has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that they are white or male and straight. But with those three attributes, these people are forced to focus on like the character building, forced to focus on the storytelling because they have nothing else to rely upon. This is why a lot of these minority tokenized characters suck so bad, is because unlike the white characters, they don't focus. They focus on the checkbox. All right, well, it's a black character. Well, we got to make sure that he struggles with race. We have to, like, it's not, it's like, why does is Blade the only damn character that has, like, doesn't really have, like, why? It's like every single black character has to at some point in time prioritize their race. The white male characters don't deal with that. Some of the newer like female characters, the same thing, like, which is garbage Captain Marvel. It's like, oh well, it's got to be woman. There's got to be some emphasis on me being a woman. So they're sacrificing character building, right?
In the middle of your rant. Here's my surprise guest, everyone. Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers has just joined us. So hello, Jeremy.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. Jeremy, meet Eric.
Yo, what's up?
What's going on, man? Pleasure to meet you. Anna showed me your video the other day on free speech, and man, I was blown away. I commented on it, so
I appreciate it. Much love, my dude. Much love. Like I say, fan as well, man. I've been watching your material, love about what you've been commenting on. Certainly, recently we all been on the same page with this, man. So I love it. I love it a lot.
Yeah, man, it's good stuff, and you guys are doing a great job, and I'm happy to be here. So, Anna, thank you for having me. So,
no problem.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I didn't mean to interrupt your rant either, Eric. My bad.
Nah, you're good, man. You're good.
Yeah, let me just I am watching you. I'm gonna try to do this where I manage our talking points as well as the chat at the same time, so I apologize, but I would like to thank everyone because I wouldn't have found both of these amazing channels if it wasn't for people commenting in my videos saying like, hey, go check out Geeks and Gamers, go check out like Eric's channel. So thank you everyone in the chat, and thank you guys for being awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you're on a ridiculous growth spurt lately. We're all watching it, and I will continue to take credit for being the person that said this would happen the first time I had you on Geeks and Gamers. I will continue to take credit for that, saying she's going to be bigger than all of us, and so it's really cool to watch it happen. So I'm really proud of you.
Well, thank you, and let's see. So, Jeremy, Eric was just talking about everything that's been going on in comics. So I know that you did get cut off. So would you like to finish your rant, dude?
Oh yeah. No, but I was saying that I think it's worth paying attention to and how a lot of these characters, when we talk about like the male, the white, straight characters, and how the writers are they have to focus on the storytelling, they have to focus on the character building, they have to focus on making this character likable, and that's what's emphasized with those characters, and that's why those characters do so great. Unfortunately, with a lot of the minority characters, these cornball writers feel like they have to focus on the fact that, or emphasize or prioritize the fact that they are a minority, so they exist because they are a minority, as opposed to having a relatable like foundation.
Jeremy, turn down your volume.
Yeah, I opened your message, my bad.
But yeah, like something worth, like paying attention to, that's keeping the readers intrigued and whatnot. Those characters have that benefit, whereas unfortunately a lot of these minority characters, they just exist to be a friggin' token. And so they're sacrificing building up of these characters because they want to, again, it's a diversity checkbox. They exist. It's like, I'm gonna throw you in there. The prime example of this, first of all, a lot of people like the Titans. I'm not fond of the new Titans series. It's not just because
oh my god, I haven't
weird.
seen that, but my best friend Sav was on this rant. She's just like, why the hell did they do this to Starfire? And then I saw your video, and I remember you posted a picture of a cosplayer, and she's white, right? And she had her orange skin, and you're like, this is not a Hollywood studio. This is just a cosplayer. And I sent it to my friend Sav. She's like, yeah, Anna, I've seen that already. Like, I saw him before you, Anna. And I was like, all right, but sorry to cut you off there.
It's like that show, for example, they didn't just put Starfire in the like, they didn't just throw her in there like she's a tokenized version of Starfire. She doesn't act like Starfire. She doesn't look like Starfire. It's not just even the fact that she's played as a person as my color. It's the fact that for one, Starfire has never looked like that, but for two, they didn't commit to anything regarding the makeup, but she exists literally in the comic as not in the comic, in the show, Titan show, as a black woman. Like, Starfire is not a black woman. There's two people in the Titans that have unique skin tones. Obviously, Beast Boy being green, her having this bronze, like goldish sort of complexion to her. They did not commit to any of those, but it feels like a checkbox because, again, they left her as a black woman, but then the one black person that is prominent in being a Titan, a Teen Titan, certainly is Cyborg. But they didn't put Cyborg in there. They put Cyborg in Doom Patrol because and it looks like, again, it was another checkbox because Cyborg has never been a part of Doom Patrol ever. He's never. Beast Boy has. It would have made more sense. But again, I think what we're talking about is a checkbox here. It's like, well, we need this black representation here. Oh, well, Doom Patrol with these characters is not going to have any black representation, so we got to slide over Cyborg, who's never been a part of this clique, into it, even though we had an opportunity to put him in Titans. We're gonna put him in the Doom Patrol because we got to have that black representation. Yep. It doesn't make any sense from the source material, but again, it's telling you it's blatantly telling you, like, these people have a checkbox that they're saying, hey, we need a woman, we need a gay character, we need this character, we need that character. Screw if this makes any sort of sense when it comes to the actual storytelling. We're just gonna have that exist, and this is why a lot of these characters don't do as well as some of these straight male characters, because they are not treated like the checkbox diversity hires, you know what I mean? The white male straight characters, but a lot of the female characters are, a lot of black characters are, and it's such an unfortunate thing. I think it's an easy thing to fix, but unfortunately, the social justice types are incentivizing them to do this.
No, you're 100% right, and I love you're talking about the check marks and the check boxes, because these people, okay, the people that are out there on social media going, oh, I love black people, I love women, they're the same little bitches that will walk down the street and see a black man and go to the other side of the road because they're scared 100%. Of the black man. Okay, 100%. I got these. Anna, am I allowed to go full rant, Jeremy? Okay, so. These are the same motherfuckers, okay, that'll sit there and call me a racist, okay? Have you ever seen Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, Above the Rim? You know, I listened to Tupac, I listened to Rakim growing up. None of these motherfuckers know what black people are actually like. They don't. They look at black people and go, we have to make these black people like white people, like we think that they're supposed to act, because they basically treat women and minorities like circus animals. You're only existing in this world to make me look good in my wokeness. I'm going to use you. I'm going to, let everybody know I'm not a bad guy. I represented black people in my comic book. Get the fuck out of here. And normal people get it, normal people get it. Like, I don't need to sit there and constantly talk about how I grew up watching the NBA. I never have to sit there and go, Michael Jordan was my favorite player. Why? Not because he looked like me, because Michael Jordan was a badass. Yeah. I made fun of Larry Bird. Yeah. Right. I made fun of Larry Bird because Larry Bird had those goofy ass shorts and he was a white boy playing basketball. At no point was I being told, oh, Jeremy, you have to cheer for the guy that looks like you. Fuck that noise. I want to see the best players in the world. And Larry Bird's
the best player, and you support the best player.
Yeah. Right. And so Larry's a legend. No disrespect. But at that point in time, I just looked at him as a goofy white guy playing basketball, And I'm
certainly in those latter years. I mean, we know Jordan was owning that league. Certainly at that time, the torch was passed, if you will. But no, that's the thing. Like in these subcultures with comics, like you just mentioned with music as well. Like rational people don't give a shit about that. Like rational people legitimately don't give a shit. Like we enjoy the music, we enjoy these characters, and it doesn't matter. We're not limiting these people to their skin. This is why I despise the social justice left, because they try to limit, like you mentioned, they treat blacks, they treat Hispanic folks, they treat women like circus animals, and we exist to massage their egos, right? It is essentially what it is. It's like, this is what I was talking about with Brie Larson and the Monica ran. If they wanted to go full social justice, minority represent, they would have went Monica Rambeau, second Captain Marvel ever, first female Captain Marvel. But no. We got to make sure that this elitist white leftist ushers she has to be the one. And then, what she'll do is she'll go around and telling people that, I need more representation. So it's more about I gotta usher y'all in. It's about me. Remember, it's about me. I gotta stay at top. I'm gonna usher y'all in because so I'm gonna stay on top. Y'all can have the little scraps that I leave you. But I gotta usher this in. It's this elitist sort of attitude that they have, and this is how they treat minorities. They treat women. They treat the black folks. They treat Hispanic folks as if they are there to solely massage their sort of egos, right? That's the only reason they exist. That's why they have those checks boxes. Like, well, we already know that these why spend decades developing this character, if you will, and just really focusing on their storytelling when we can just race switch Iris West out of nowhere because of reasons. Why we can just do that? Why actually develop on the other characters? We can just who is Black Canary? I think is the latest race swap. Let's just switch her to a black
canary.
Black with the Birds of Prey. I think of there, she's a black woman there. So they're doing it's like, all right, well, we got these pre-established white characters. Let's just race swap them. Why work on your own shit? Why develop these characters when we can just race swap? Again, these are about check boxes, and then the ones that do exist are either tokenized versions of other established. This is why I'm not an Ironheart fan, because all Riri Williams is a tokenized version of Iron Man. Say what you will, that's literally all she is a tokenized Iron Man. There's nothing unique about her. She's a different character, but in terms of her actual power base and whatnot, there's nothing unique. There's nothing that Iron Man didn't already do. But they try to piggyback off of Iron Man to usher in this black female character, as opposed to having an original character. This shit irritates the living hell out of me.
And you know why they do this is because they don't know how to write non-white characters, because they have no idea how minorities act or women act.
They just take characters that are already established and change them. It's like, no, you want me to respect your work, then you need to actually show that you're talented. You want to be a writer, then write your own freaking character and go up against characters like Batman, like Iron Man, and show that you are better, that you can make people stand behind a new character over characters that have been established for years. That would be talent, but they don't have any. So they just take something and change it. And it just shows.
Well, Yeah, and they live in guilt. They live in guilt. They create their media through their own guilt because they're constantly projecting to try to offset their own guilt. And then they obviously call you names. And like, I don't know if you guys saw my video. I uploaded it late last night before I get started. Smash that melee button, everybody. Share the video. Let's get us up to 1,000 viewers. We're almost up to 1,000. So smash the melee. But I made a video where these people were talking about me, and they talked about how I was so upset about Black Panther and I should go ahead and get a Klan hood because of my opinion of Black Panther. So I made the video, and I'm like,
I saw the tweet was deleted.
Yeah, I gave Black Panther an 8 out of 10. You dumb fuckers. And like, this is why these critics are so scared to actually be objective with these movies, because they're scared to be labeled something. I gave Black Panther an 8 out of 10 and I'm being called a Klan member. What the fuck?
That's
crazy. And most of my following is always saying like, Jeremy, you're actually like, I can't believe you gave it an 8 out of 10. So it's like I'm going against the majority of people. Like, they're like, you overrate that movie, Jeremy. And maybe I do. I've seen it once, but I enjoyed it. But I'm being called a goddamn Klan member because I gave it an 8 out of 10. And crazy. So, of course, on cue, this happens like 90% of the time because I respond on Twitter. I'm the biggest douchebag on Twitter. I literally am monetizing their pain and their tears.
That's what you got to do, right? You
got
to monetize it, bro.
They always delete the tweet every damn time, and that makes it so much sweeter. Much sweeter. But yeah, man, it's unbelievable. So
yeah,
it really
is. Check boxes, man. It's lazy, and I don't. You can't let them get away with that though. You got to push back. Certainly, and this is why I appreciate guys like ourselves that exist. I'm unapologetic with it. I will call you. You know what I'm gonna call you if I feel that it is that you're doing or saying something that is totally irrational. It's like you just mentioned, for example, when you criticize something like that, you know, you get called a Klansman. For example, if I criticize, like, it's not necessarily Black Panther, when I criticize like a racist Starfire thing, that was a big thing. I monetized the hell out of that, but that was a big thing with the Starfire thing, and which, you don't like black women. You're a self-hating dark
Uncle Tom, right?
Yeah. I was like, what? I was like, are you sitting like, again, my woman's on the other side of that door, as dark as I am. It doesn't make any granted, none of this makes any sense as far as what they're saying, but they treat it's like you can't criticize them. And this is what a lot of folks don't understand with the Brie Larson thing and with the Captain Marvel shtick, if you will, because they are saying that we can't criticize it, or it's not for us. That's really insulting to women, because why is it that you can a movie like a Thor, for example, black person can criticize it, a woman can criticize it, and it's all good. We don't look at that any different. But the minute it's a female-led character, a black character, or something like that faces those sorts of criticism, wait a minute, something's wrong with you. You're racist. You're sexist. It's like, well, what you're inherently saying or suggesting is that these white male straight characters are superior to the female characters, to the black characters, because they can't be criticized in the same exact or at least a very similar way to the white straight character. It's insulting. It's absolutely insulting when they say stuff like that. It's like, why is it that like the tweet that went around, I believe you covered it, Jeremy. I know I covered it in the video. The chick saying that Captain Marvel was not for men. Like, and she said Wonder Woman, she conflated Wonder, even though men have never had, we didn't have no problem with Wonder Woman at all. They made that up, but they were saying, like, it's like, why is it that the female characters are for the kids all of a sudden? Like, nobody said this about the other male characters. Nobody said that about them. That's really, to me, at the very least, it seems like they are going out of their way to insult female-led characters. They're saying, well, we're gonna limit your reach to the children. You're not fully adult. And
here's the thing, like, sorry, Anna, Anna, Eric, you guys are far more dangerous than I am to them. You know what I mean? Because they can easily dismiss the angry white guy on the internet that hates women and black people, and that's what they can. But when they have a black guy who's very well spoken, articulate, and knowledgeable, and has a lot of common sense, and when they have Anna,
comics.
Right, and then we have Anna, who's always dropping truth bombs and getting all this traction. It's the NPC talking points, and the NPC meme continues to be so accurate. You're an Uncle Tom, if you have an opinion and you're black. And Anna is a fake geek girl if she has an opinion that goes against them. She's just a fake girl. She's just trying to use her looks to get attention. It's so easy to pinpoint what they're going to say. And I do right now, since we do have a white dude, a black dude, and a girl on this here, I have a live look. Anna, can you lock in on me real quick? I have a live look at the SJWs right now. This is their reaction right now. This is what they're doing right now. They are freaking out. They don't know what to do. There's more diversity here than it is your freaking writing room full of white male liberals, you little male feminist bitches, and you don't know what to do. Because you're scared of real life black people. You're okay. You're okay with the black people that you can control by their writing and inventing them. But yes,
no, most definitely in their way. In their way,
do not exist in their eyes. Me and him are anomalies. We do not exist.
Right. Nah, to them, they act like we do. This is what trips us out. But like, because they'll make the claim that, oh, well, no black folks think like that, no females think like that, and then we exist, and then they call us fake black people and fake women for having an opinion that goes against the it's very. This is why we call them NPCs. It's literally why we call them NPCs, because they are reading from a script. Like, I can predict these guys' argument for them. Like, I shouldn't be able to do that. Like, y'all are saying, and they're saying the same damn thing. They're saying the same thing.
I don't know if you get this, but I've been getting this a lot. People comment, they're like, oh, it's just another girl, and, her audience is men. And I'm like, well, my entire life, it's very hard to find other girls that actually like Star Wars. Like, I have my best friend, Sav. I didn't meet her until I was in college, and we were going to college for art, and we met in, drawing classes, because we both loved, comics and superheroes and Star Wars. And people were like, oh, you're fake. You're a snowflake. And I had to Google what that meant, because I didn't know what that meant. People say that to you?
Oh, most like I get it all.
In the background.
Yeah, I get it all. You don't really it's bigotry, like old soul quote. It's bigotry by way of low expectations. It's like they don't expect us to have the opinions that we have. They don't expect us to be as knowledgeable, certainly as we are on this material. Therefore, they have to try to find that there's some sort of gimmick behind it, right? There is absolutely no way that there's this black male person that's so knowledgeable than most of these all these other guys on all of these comics. Yeah, right. The people that's in it, because again, I read this stuff. I legitimately read this.
You do. You have videos where you go through and you read comic books.
I'm literally flipping the shit up. Like, it's not like I'm just talking out of my ass. Like, I've done video after video after video, not just talking about the general concept of comics, but actually diving into them, because I thoroughly love them, and I thoroughly, I read. This is what I do. But they act like that can't exist. So there's got to be something wrong. I get so many comments. Granted, they usually get ratioed, but I get the comments of people saying, well, oh man, you just exist to appease white folks. It's like, can I not be a black person and have my own goddamn opinion about positions and stuff? And it's funny because really, if they actually dove into they really have a legit meltdown if they dove into like where I'm certainly at on these concepts of diversity and equality and those are gimmick I don't believe in any of that shit. Like me, I'm more when we talk about, like, for example, the two prominent leaders, like black civil rights leaders, you think of MLK, you think of Malcolm. I'm the more Malcolm approach. I'm not about to ask anybody. I'm not about to beg anybody to accept me. Like, if you don't like me because of my color or some shit like that, stay your ass over there. Like, that's your business. I'm not about to be, and this is where I differ from a lot of black leftists and stuff like that. I'm not about to be going out of my way to try to beg white folks to accept me. Like, you got the wrong guy, bro. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm gonna go about my way. I'm not gonna give you that satisfaction or anything like that. Your opinion, your position is your position. I do not exist to appease other individuals. Like, I'm a very accomplished political commentator. For example, like, I've been on and I get, it's funny because I get, if these people only knew half of the interviews and stuff that I turned down so I don't get tokenized. Like, I'm only appeared on Fox News one time with Tucker Carlson. That's the only interview that I've ever done with them. Of the thousands of times that they've reached out to me, say, hey, would you mind showing up? Would you mind talking about this? It's just because I won't allow them to pigeonhole me as this token black guy that happens to have a position that
live stream.
I don't let them, I don't do that. You know what I mean? I don't do that. Like my thing is I do my own thing. I say what I want to say. And this is why all of my platforms are self-created. I co-founded beinglibertarian.com. I started my own channel. I did my own thing. And I'm an advocate of of libertarianism, working towards a freer society. And that's stuff that I did. And I created my own brand. So I specifically wouldn't get tokenized. And I turned down a countless amount of interviews, countless amount of money to go, be a representative of certain large publications and nationally syndicated radio and TV. And I say, nah, you know what I mean? That ain't really that's not my thing. If you want to bring it
because you have values and you have standards.
Bingo. So if they actually knew where I was at with it, they certainly wouldn't be saying it. But these guys are in PCs, dog.
They don't do their research.
Not at all.
Somebody commented on my video last night. They're like, "Oh, based on your name, you're gonna freak your shit when all these guys go and boycott the new Star Wars movie." And I'm like, "Bro, do you not watch my videos?" I hated The Last Jedi. The reason I have a channel is because I went and saw The Last Jedi and I was cursing in the theater. I was like, "What the fuck did I just watch?" And I'm leaving the theater and I was so pissed. I'm like, and I went with my boyfriend. He's like, "Babe, what's going on?" And I'm like, "Is this a joke? Like, you just prank me? What the fuck is going on?" And people in the theater are like, outside when I'm walking out. And that was fucking bullshit. And I had tickets for the next morning. I'm like, maybe I just was not thinking right. I go into the theater. I'm sitting there. This is fucking worse. Like, why am I doing this to myself again? And so I posted on Facebook. Everyone that's ever known me my entire life has known that I love Star Wars. It's like, you hear Anna, you hear Star Wars. So literally, everyone I'm friends with on Facebook was like, "What do you mean you didn't like it?" I was like, I cannot send 100 different messages to 100 different people. I'm just going to make a video. And I'm here today because I made that video. And then people were, again, they're calling me out. They're like, "Oh, you're fake. You just are jumping on the train." I'm like, you know what? F you. Let me show you. When I graduated high school, I went to the same high school as George Lucas, the man who created Star Wars. When I graduated high school, I gave a speech about Star Wars. This was back before, Disney had even bought Star Wars. I showed them my speech and people were like, "Wow, you weren't kidding. You love Star Wars." Like, yes, I'm not kidding. This is who I am. So for people to go and do all this,
it's bigotry. No, like I said, it's bigotry by way of it's like the low expectation. What they do is they have placed you, certainly because of your, in your case with your sex or gender, they place you in a box and they say, in my case, it's usually because of my race, and they place us in a box and they say, "Look, this is how you're supposed to think. This is what culturally where you're supposed to be at. You deviate from that in any way, shape, or form from that box." And it's funny because the main people that they call the social justice left, the main people they call the racists, the main people they call the sexist, is the opposite side. I know in my case, all the racism that for the vast majority of I have gotten called the most ugliest name, and it wasn't by these right wingers, bro. Like, it wasn't by them calling them, and it was by leftists who thought that I was supposed to be thinking a certain way, and they called me all the derogatory names I get, man.
Well, see, I know you're very big into your politics. You just explained about it.
Yeah.
I have not once talked about politics on my channel. Like, because I don't want people to feel, excluded just because I have a different, view on politics than them. So I've made it very clear. I'm like, I don't talk about politics on my channel. If you want to comment and say, "Hey, I feel this way," and you're not being, abusive, then yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and give your opinions. I'm here to talk about Star Wars or, other things that I'm interested in. And people are like, "Oh, they compared me to that blonde girl that is
like Tommy Lauren." Yeah, like I get compared to Candace
Owen.
Yeah, like, even though me and her have the opposite political, like I said, I'm an anarcho-capitalist, she's a conservative. Like, we're not the same thing. But again, it's a box. It's a literal box that they place you in. They say, "Oh,
you're a black person. She's black. You're black." They both threaten their idea, their bubble. Therefore, you're the same. And that is as racist as you can fucking get. That is as racist as you can get. And yes. Yeah,
and they don't do their research and they just want to label people. And what's funny? It's all, and people have said, "Oh, well, like, you're pandering to, to the men." I'm like, no, this is what I like. This is what I talk about. And they're like, "Well, a lot of your viewers are conservative." And I was like, guess what? Not one of them has ever said anything bad about me. But yeah, all the people that are very left-leaning, all the SJWs, they've gone and attacked me. They have, taken pictures of, my videos and posted it. Like this guy, Jason Ward, he saw a video, he didn't watch it, but I made it on, the Geeks and Gamers channel, and I made it about Kathleen Kennedy. And I used a reference from, the French Revolution, when Marie Antoinette said, let them eat cake. And, the French people, they're like, F you, we're starving to death. We're going to chop your head off because you're being fucked up. And so I made that as my headline. And then he called me out. He posted on Twitter. He's like, oh, look at, this fake girl that Jeremy has on his channel. And people are like,
Christ.
oh, this girl's so stupid. Her acting's so bad. I'm like, 100% my acting's bad because I'm not a fucking actress. I'm just being me,
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
It is.
Right.
So they're so easy to. I mean, again, I'm loving monetizing. I made a 13-second video to put on my personal channel just to fuck with. I'm walking out of fucking TJ Maxx the other day, and I'm like, let me just make a video. So I pull my phone out and I'm like, hey, I just went and because of all of the Captain Marvel bots that are coming after me, I just monetized your pain. I spent money on myself. You're making my life better. So please continue to do that. And just so you know, I'm going to take my toxic masculinity. I'm going to hop into my 300ZX. I'm going to drive it really fast. And there's nothing you can do about it. Goddamn video on my personal channel's got 12,000 views. Like it's so easy to use them. And I only have like 5,000 subs on my personal channel, but I'm like, God, I love this. I love it. Like the more they talk about me, the more like I will make 12 Captain Marvel videos a day if they keep bitching at me about it. I don't care.
Oh yeah,
that's what's hot, man.
If it wasn't for the Captain Marvel stuff, like I wouldn't have gotten over 40,000 subscribers in a month.
Oh man,
exactly.
most definitely. Yeah, well, I think my this past month, I know certainly the last couple of days. I mean, I dropped a video 2-3 days ago on Captain Marvel. It's like at 150,000. So it's like, I mean, yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It's green lighted, and I'm monetizing these idiots. You know what I mean? And again, this is like we talked about earlier. This is a self-inflicted wound. Like if y'all wasn't tripping like this, I wouldn't even be making these videos. But because y'all, Brie Larson and the campaign trail, the promotional trail with this video. All right, this is what we're doing. Okay, I'm gonna make a video about it. Y'all keep coming back. I'm gonna make another video about it, and I'm just gonna keep making money and monetizing these people's tears, and it's not gonna make us go to. But I think that's necessary. I think that because I get people. I don't know how it is with you guys' experience because I'm in a band. I'm in a touring band, so I get to. It's metal backwards. BACKWRDZ. It's funny. Everybody knows me from a different. We talked about this off air. Everybody knows me from something different. Some people know me from the comic stuff. Some people know me from the political stuff. And then you got the others that know me for the music. Like BACKWRDZ.
Got a link to your band.
Yeah, we're not a small band. Like when people say, "Oh man, you're in the band," like, "Yeah, I'm in the band," and they look it up. Holy shit, you got millions of views. Like, yeah, like this, like it's legit. Like this is for real. Like it's heavy. But in my, when I tour with these larger bands. And a lot of them, they are leftists. They're full-blown leftists for the most part. But what'll happen is we'll have these like the drummer or the merch guy for one of the bands. They're like, "Hey man, I really like what you say. I'm not myself. I'm a libertarian, man, but I can't say that, man. My career is gonna be threatened and stuff like that." So the thing that I enjoy about guys like ourselves. And putting out this material is that it brings people out of the shadows. It legitimately, I don't know what that is. When somebody says bird in the background.
Yeah, I hear it too. I didn't know what that was.
My speaker. It's my.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like it's a pet duck. Like, no, all I got is dogs here. But we are bringing people out of the shadows, man. Like we're bringing people out of the shadow. Like people see you guys' videos. I promise you, there's somebody that's like, man, I want to do stuff like that, right? So this is what happens. Like we're connecting communities, and that's how we win this battle and really getting these fools up out of here, man, and shaming these nonsensical, idiotic positions out of reality. People try to make them appear as if they're reality. They're not a representative of any really rational person. But us existing and us putting out this commentary, us putting out this message is really what's bringing a lot of people out of the shadows. I do it, and it happens on my side in music, where we get people Fit for a King. That's another band of a bigger tier than us, big solid size metal band. The front man is a good friend of mine, Ryan, and more open about his libertarian views, and he always credits me for in the band for doing that. You know what I mean? We're bringing people out of the shadows, and this is why I think it's so important for us, us commentators, to get out there and spread this message, make these videos, because we're bringing people out of the shadows that think that. And the reason why it's the social pressure, right? It's like, man, I can't say that, but man, I love what it is that you're saying. Oh, wait a minute, you can say it. You can actually say it. Yep. You just got to do it. Like, if they get mad, they get mad. You know what I mean? But you just got to get out there and say something, because otherwise they're gonna keep winning, because they're loud. That's why this stuff exists in the first place, is because they have been able to successfully infiltrate these markets and hold positions of power, or at least at the very least be in the ear. And I think this is what in the comic book industry was so funny, because right now when you talk about sales, there's a lot of questions, right? Is the state of the industry, is this sustainable? And I think a lot of people are confused, higher ups, if you will, like, man, we turned Iceman gay, but it didn't make anybody buy the issues. What the hell is going on? Like, well, because most people don't give a damn about that. It was lazy. It turned a lot of people off. But you can imagine the people that are in their ear, like, man, you got to do this. This will bring a lot of people in to I guess this deal.
The ones that are usually high ups, they don't really know much about it. They're just
they have no idea,
because they know how to do all the business side of stuff. So when the people that are in charge of creative, they're like, we need to do this, we need to do this, and then they're probably just sitting there like, what happened to the numbers? What's going on?
Yeah. No, that's exactly what's happening.
Real quick, chat. I know Nightbot is deleting a lot of stuff. She just installed it. She's going to review it afterwards.
Sorry, I had to put in.
Yeah, but yeah, you guys have to understand. 40,000 new subs in 30 days. She's dealing with all kind of bullshit in her comments, and so she will review it after this. We'll make changes. You just got to understand it's a process, but it's a necessary evil right now because of what YouTube does on these live streams. They are watching all of this shit, so we are only working within the rules we are given, and those rules are so fucking shady, and we don't even know what the rules are with YouTube.
Yeah. No, I had to go through a list of all of the words that YouTube will flag channels for. So I put all of those words.
Same thing I did.
If you put all caps, it's gonna flag you. If you put all exclamation points, it's gonna flag you. So I apologize. So if you you have to figure out how to work around it, but it's just to protect my channel from the crazies out there. So I apologize, everyone. But now that we are on this little talk about the chat, I have seen a couple people that said I need to start reading super chats. So I am going to run to the restroom real fast so these guys can entertain you for a minute. And then when I get back, I will start reading super chats.
Sounds good. So now, Eric, I would love to have you on my channel at some point too, man.
Yeah.
So like I said, I think I'd seen you on Twitter, and I think did you get banned from Twitter?
Well, it's a suspension. I'm just not serving it.
Was it Rinfamous?
It's not. Yeah, because of Rinfamous. It's not it's not a perma ban. Thankfully, I got the blue check, so I get a little bit of privileges. This is a 12-hour suspension that I have, but I'm not serving it because they got to tell me why they did it. So it's going through the appeal process. I could have served it a long time ago and been back tweeting. But I was like, no. Because what they do is they make you remove the tweet. They say, if you remove it, you can serve your suspension. But if you appeal it, it'll take, a few days, a week or so like that. But you can't serve the suspension at all until obviously we get those results. So I was like, take as long as you need. Definitely with my YouTube booming the way that it is, I'm gonna take as long as you need, but y'all gonna tell me exactly why y'all thought that those words were, or that particular post was worth suspension, when I got somebody else that used my likeness, calls me an incel, calls me angry nerd, and calls me all of these crazy names. Like, if they gonna do that, then no. Y'all gotta tell me why they didn't get the suspension and I absolutely did. So it's just an appeal process, but I'm not banned quite yet.
Yeah, well, and so I wasn't familiar with your channel, and then Anna sent me a link. She told me she talked to you, and I watched, and I was like, wow, this guy's awesome. So
Thank you.
So yeah, man, I was very impressed with the free speech video and some other stuff. So I'd love to talk to you in the future, man. But we'll talk about that later. So
yeah, hit me up, man. We can most definitely do it. And that what they're referencing, I think that's a really important thing about the free speech. And this is what I'm trying to do a little more. I think I've been a little maybe too top heavy with the comic book related stuff, because this channel was more of a, it was more social commentary, more political commentary with the gaming and the comic book stuff. And I think I've been way too top heavy on the comic book related stuff. So I wanted to sort of chime in with some of the things that, you know, I talk about on a daily basis, the social commentary, the political stuff.
I
because
like your comic videos. Don't stop.
no, I won't stop. I won't stop now, because I'm getting so many. I'm getting a lot of viewership. I'm getting a lot of people that are wanting that stuff. Only thing that's really happening is that I'm doing more videos, if that makes sense. Instead of moving like I'm doing maybe three videos a day, I'm going. I think last week I had a video at least dropping every single day, and it was mixed around. So that's more so what we're trying to do. We're just trying to have a little of a mixture, you know what I mean? Because I think some of the, like, I don't hit an off switch. My music, the commentary that I have on politics is so, like, it's no off. This is who I am. So I just want to be open with that. And I think that people have things that they can learn that maybe come from those different avenues. If you come to my channel and you come from the political, from the comic book side of things, I think that there's some social stuff that I can talk about and some political stuff that I can talk about that'll be very valuable. You might not agree, but I get people all the time, and I'm like, man, I never heard libertarianism broken down like that. I didn't understand it. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, yeah, that's what it is. But I'm introducing this message to people that otherwise would not been able to hear it in the way, like the speech video, people not hearing it in that and broken down like that. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to mix it up just because I want people to genuinely, I have problems that there are problems in the world, but I do want people to learn in other aspects. So that's just why I have the approach the way it is.
It's kind of like at school. It's like you wouldn't have known something if there wasn't a teacher there to tell you about. And like, I think that's something that should be taught in schools is like how to write a resume, how to file your taxes. I don't know why they don't teach stuff like that in school, and I haven't watched any of your like social videos that you spoke about. I've only seen your comic stuff, and I did watch like social justice, but basically, bashing what's going on with Brie Larson and everything.
Right.
But we can get to that topic, or we can come back to this topic. I did say I was going to read some super chat, so I promise, guys, I am painted. I have the chat up. We are just trying to have this conversation, but I am paying attention to you guys. I do see all the quacks. I know my speakers suck. I need to get new ones. Do you guys have any recommendations of speakers that aren't $100? Let me know. And if they're on Amazon, let me know. So I'm about
to drop a link to Eric's channel in the comments. And if you were asking, I think Anna already has it in the description. And we're over 1,000 viewers. Let's get those likes up. Smash the melee. All right, Anna.
All right. So David Sutherland, thank you for these super chat. Please update your paintings on Etsy. Thank you for the super chat. They are updated. Everything that I have available as far as prints are up. I am actually not going to be selling my original artwork on Etsy. What I will do for that, so that way it's fair, is I will put them up on eBay for auction. So like, as you can see, I have a painting of Darth Maul and Luke Skywalker. So those are both paintings that are done by, I did them myself. When I feel comfortable enough to part with them, I will put them on eBay and I will give, everyone notice, so that way it's fair and everyone has, the same opportunity to bid on them. So that is how I'm going to be handling that from here on out, because Etsy, there is some fine print on, the copywriting. So they technically own your work. It's a completely different topic for another time, but thank you for the super chat. I'm glad that you are checking out my Etsy, though. The Price is Right review, thank you for the super chat. Sup, guys? Keep up the awesomeness. Well, thank you. Caesar IOJPN, thank you for the super chat. Monica Rambeau, the true Captain Marvel, SJW triggered. Yeah. I think all of us would have preferred Monica Rambeau at this point. Considering, if Emily Blunt would be playing Captain Marvel, this would have been a completely different marketing campaign.
Yes.
What do you think about that, Eric?
No, I think they could have got a man. They could have got my dog to probably play the role better than what
could have played it.
Yeah, I wasn't excited for that at all. Whatever she has going, so most definitely they could have got somebody with a little more character to them. But I just think the overall approach, man, was just They shouldn't have went that route by any means.
Oh yeah, no, not at all. And guys, feel free to comment in on these super chats as well. Douglas March, thank you for the super chat. Do you think they brought in Captain Marvel because of the delay in bringing in Adam Warlock in Guardians 3 when James Gunn got fired? Ooh, that is a good question. What do you guys think?
Man, I wish I had an answer. I just think it's criminal for, this is my thing. This is my approach. My thing is that when I think Thanos, I'm talking source material here. When I think Thanos, there's three characters that come to mind, ranking them from the most important to the third most important. First is Captain Marvel, and that's Marvel, not this Carol Danvers.
Mm-hmm.
I think because again, this is literally the first person to defeat Thanos in the Cosmic Cube arc, and then you have Warlock, who has defeated Thanos twice, and then when we're talking about what he has now, which is the Infinity Gauntlet, the one that took it from him was Warlock, and then you have Silver Surfer, who has been so important to the defeat of because he was part of that Adam Warlock sort of, all right, I'm gonna take the gauntlet, and now they have the what? Now it was after that, I believe it was Warlock and the Infinity Watch was the name of it. And now Silver Surfer wasn't part of that, but before that, Silver Surfer was the main one that brought Thanos back in. So what when I think those three, though, like for Thanos if Thanos gets defeated by Carol Danvers, I am going to have an absolute fit.
Oh,
like yeah. I think it's a criminal. You got to let Warlock do it. So yeah, they alluded to him, and I thought, here we go. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Aisha. They brought in Adam Warlock. Like, all right, here it is. Like this is we're talking source material here. We're talking canon. And then they brought in Captain Marvel, who has never had anything, or Carol Danvers has never had anything to do with Thanos' defeat, and certainly not from a classical standpoint. It was just randomized. Like, come on, bro. So this is all bad.
Honestly, guys, I don't even think that they know. Like, I feel like there's somebody in the background that's afraid to talk, that actually, like, there's the one token nerd that actually works there because they care about comics, and they're sitting in the back and you're like, fuck, I got bills to pay. I'm paying off my student loans. I got kids to feed.
True that.
I got bills. And then they're just people like, oh, let's bring in Captain Marvel. And they're just kind of peeping out. That's not how it goes. It's Adam Warlock, guys. And they're just like they look at him like when you are playing Resident Evil and it's like the zombies are coming. It's like, oh, it's like, fuck, I better not say anything or the zombies are going to come after me. I honestly feel like that was kind of an afterthought, but you would think that Kevin Feige, he did a really good job of, this was very well mapped out on what he was going to do.
Absolutely.
In this character, it's like he's got a checkbox. Somebody's holding something over his head for him to do this, because this is so out of character for him to do. But
yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
No, like if I'm not mistaken, there was a recent what interview was that? And Brie Larson was talking about that she went to Kevin about this idea of female all female Avengers.
Oh yeah. Well, I think she was asked about that in an interview. And of course, these people, man, like if a normal person is asked about that, like if I'm in a movie, okay, and you're like, hey Jeremy, do you think that it should be all male, Avengers? I'll be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why are you even asking me that question?
Yeah.
What kind of stupid shit is that? Just like the day Samuel L. Jackson was asked about Trump, and of course Samuel L. Jackson has to follow up with he's running a plantation or something, and like a normal person would have been like, why the fuck are you asking about Trump? Who cares?
Right.
So Brie Larson was asked about it, and she, of course, took the opportunity to pounce with her SJW narrative. And it was just like, and people are like, well, she was asked about it, Jeremy. Yeah, and she has the ability to answer and tell these people, like, shut the fuck up. Why are you asking me that? But she, went over and, did that. But that's what I understand it to be, it was a loaded question from the media.
Yeah. And like she was talking about this idea of possibly pitching it, and I'm sitting here like, why would that be but it's just letting me know that little sector, that community of people that are prioritizing dumb shit over really paying attention to these actual characters, you know what I mean? And that's my problem with this whole deal. Is like, I feel like it was a checkbox. I feel like it was like somebody said, I don't know who, at what level, said we need a female character to come in and save the day. Unfortunately, and the funny thing is, they do have characters that were part of, like they have Nebula in there, they have Gamora. Nebula actually
in the comics, actually,
yeah. She took the gauntlet from Thanos, and then Warlock defeated him, and then took it from them. But that she took it, so they could have played on that. But they introduced, I think what they needed was to stand alone. This is why they forced the issue with Captain Marvel. They needed this standalone character, because Marvel doesn't have every prominent female character for the most part is affiliated with a team. So they had, like I say, Storm, Rogue, Jean Grey, the popular ones. But you think X-Men, you don't think them. They're iconic in a sense, but they're not like Wonder Woman. You know what I mean? Like they're not. Wonder Woman doesn't need the Justice League. Wonder Woman will do just fine by herself. They don't have Marvel does not have that. And then, again, we talked about this earlier. Like they got DC that does a great job of those individual characters, even from the villains. Like they have Harley Quinns. They have, the Catwoman is more of an anti-hero at this point, but they have these notable characters that do not need. They've been affiliated with teams, but they don't need those teams. But Marvel doesn't really have that. And this is why I think they forced the issue with Captain Marvel. Because if you just look at it, you just pay attention. She only recently became Captain Marvel in like the last 7 years or so, when she recently became Captain Marvel. She was Miss Marvel before then, but she recently became Captain Marvel within this decade. She's been rebooted time and time again, and each one sucked. Even now, issue 1 and issue 2, you can go to your local comic book shop. Those damn things are in abundance. Like but nobody is buying this comic because nobody cares about this character. But they tried to force this issue. They're trying to force this issue, and I think that's what happened. Now, again, I think it's more of a checkbox than anything. It's like they want that female representation. So rather than doing it in an authentic way, they're doing it a more artificial way. And that's, all right, you guys don't like this character, I'm going to force this character down your throat. So I didn't want to hijack you. I know you had some more
you're fine,
super chats you wanted to read.
Go on your rants. I go on them all the time. Jeremy lets me do this when I'm on his stream, so feel free.
And I do want to read the one that you just got in, because it's a $25 super chat. It says, I'm subscribed to all 3 of your channels, and it's awesome to see collaborations like this. Keep up the good work. And that is all for Anna. Anna, she's the one that lined all this up. This is really, I'm really happy that she introduced me to Eric. I'm really impressed with him. And it's not because he's black. It's because he's smart. SJWs, take a fucking note on that one. You know
how when kids, like, obviously when kids are playing, kids don't think,
they don't care.
That kid's black, I want to.
It's a learned trait, bro.
It's like, no, you play together because you want to play together. All of us, if we were kids at the playground, we would be the kids, playing the superheroes, playing with Star Wars toys. We would be those kids. And so it's like all of us are coming together. We don't care about each other's background. It's
a learned trait, bro. Like I can't, when I say, and I did a video on this, like that is a specific, when these people talk about representation and all of this stuff, and that is that people have to worry about how other people's look, what sex they are, what sexuality they have, or anything like that. They have to pay attention to that to feel quote unquote represented. That is a learned trait, bro. Because when you look at little kids, like at a young age, before they start learning all of this shit about race and all of this stuff, like they don't care. Like they'll go play with each other and they don't care about. And it's only until they get older when they have, whether it be parenting, media, the art or whatever they pay attention to, start reinforcing this idea that you're limited to your identity, therefore you need quote unquote representation. And what that doesn't mean, granted, you can relate to people in ways other than race and sexuality and stuff like that. What they're saying is, I'm going to limit you to your identity as far as like your color of your skin or something like that. That's the only way that you can feel any sort of have like legitimate self-esteem, good mental health, feeling good about yourself, is if you see somebody that has the same, no matter if you don't relate to them in any other way, they have the same color as you, they're the same sex. Like when I criticize the Starfire thing, wait a minute. Why would you want to rip apart you should be happy a black woman is in there? I was like, why would I be? She doesn't look like Starfire. I don't give a damn that she's a black actor that's my color. That has nothing to do with the fact that she doesn't look act or any. This is a terrible depiction of Starfire. I don't give a damn that she's being casted by. But again, that goes back to the fact that they are limiting me to my color. They're limiting me to my race.
You're black, so you can only like this character. It's like, oh, Anna, you're a woman.
Insulting.
You can only like this character. It's like, no, that's not my favorite superhero. I'm not going to stand behind this woman. I don't respect this woman. You know, Iron Man is not my favorite character, but I fucking respect him. I respect Tony Stark.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has grown. He has shown me. This guy was in a fucking cave and built an Iron Man suit.
Yeah,
that guy knows what he's talking about. This woman comes in and she's gonna go bitch at Samuel L. Jackson. No, I like Samuel L. Jackson. I like Nick Fury. I respect Nick Fury. I don't want to go and watch this bitch, you know, go belittle him on the big screen. I'm not gonna go pay for that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I just want to make an announcement here on the internet with over 1,000 people. Okay, if I'm ever watching the NBA and I say we need more white representation, beat the fuck out of me. Okay, beat my ass. Okay, because I have clearly, my balls have fallen off. Okay, I have clearly put on a fedora. I have clearly went out of my way to respect women because I just can't even understand like watching. And again, I don't like LeBron James. He's a great athlete, though. I can't imagine watching LeBron and Steph Curry and Kevin Durant going, you know, guys, we need a little more white representation in this sport. Kick my ass. Please beat the fuck out of me. All right, go ahead.
Because, see, that's one of the beauties about sports, though, is if you're not a good player, you're not going to make it. The only guys that make it are the ones that this is their life. They train every single day. They are good at what they do, and it shows. So if you just like throw in, you know, your token, you know, whatever ethnicity you want to throw in there, just to have it on your team, and they suck, you know, maybe if they don't suck, but they're like okay, you know, that person's going to be a bench warmer because they're not good.
Yep. No, that sports is one of the, you know, I was again an athlete myself, man, and sports is one of the few human affairs that has that, like, it's of merit. Like, it doesn't matter what, it's completely objective at this point. It's of merit. Like, these players, like, you have to be good. I was a track and field athlete. Obviously, it didn't matter who crossed the line first. That's what mattered. It doesn't matter how you look getting there, you know, what color you are, anything like that. You're fast, you know what I mean? And that's what it is. It's one of the few things that nobody gives a damn about. Wait a minute. There's not enough white players. There's not enough Asian players in the NBA. Like, nobody gives a damn about that. It's these other human affairs. For whatever reason, people say, screw the merit. We got to have this percentage of women, this percentage of black people. It doesn't matter if there's somebody that can feel this same exact. That's why I have such a beef with affirmative action, because it's basically saying that, hey, you have to you got to have these tokens exist, even if there's somebody that's of a different race that is better can perform better at that particular position. You can't have this job because the government has mandated that you gotta have this fucking stupid percentage of blacks or anything like this. It's such a idiotic thing, but that exists in these human affairs, and this is what these social justice type. And this is what I think a lot of this stuff happens like definitely in like in comics. Is I think these people are getting in positions of power. Like, these people are like, and their diversity hires themselves. It's like, hey, they come up to the table like, hey, you guys should hire me, a blue-haired chick that doesn't really read comics, but I want to promote social justice, and it would be good if you hired me to be a writer, even though I don't know what the fuck I'm really doing. They're like, you know what, we need some more representation, bring her on. And then she goes and writes this shit book here. Now, I'm not saying Kelly Thompson is this blue-haired chick that, you know, so I'm just using that as an example. Now, this book does suck. Now, make no mistake, Captain Marvel issue #1 is trash. But I'm saying that, like, that's, I feel like, is what happens in a lot of these, their diversity hires themselves. So they infest. It's like they're like diseases. I hate to use that term, but it's really, they infest these deals, and they're like, and it spreads other, like, when something, you got to think about the different types of filters that pop off. Like, imagine this Captain Marvel, this shit book somehow made its way all the way to the retail store. You got to think about how many filters that went through for them to allow this shit to happen. It's not just at that surface level. It's something going on for something like this to be put out and them to think this shit is acceptable. Like this shit is terrible. You know what I mean? Like this is terrible.
Years and years of pre-production.
Absolutely.
You have to pitch the idea. You have to get the okay. Then you have to wait for, you know, the head people and, you know, the people that figure out how much this is going to cost. Then you got to get the approval from the managers. Then you have to hire a team of artists. Then you have to find the right artists. Then you have to spend time designing the characters. I mean, that's why movies take, you know, a minimum of 5 years to make. And you can look at, you know, James Cameron movies like Avatar. It takes 10 years to make. It takes a long fucking time. So for it to go this long, at what point in the timeline wasn't somebody like, hey guys, this fucking sucks? And it reminds me of that scene in Fanboys. I don't know if you watched it, where it's like the whole movie is about them going to Star Wars Ranch and going and seeing episode 1 because their friend's dying of cancer and they want to see it before he dies. And they all get to the movie after, you know, he's already seen it, he already died. They're sitting there, they get there, they're all excited. You're like, yeah, episode 1, the Phantom Menace. Yeah, the Phantom Menace. Sorry. Stuck on the Phantom Menace. But and then they're like, what if it sucks? And they all look at each other and movie ends. And it's like, we all know what happens. So I feel like at what point did somebody not say, hey, this isn't right? Like this, like, I mean, I haven't read Captain Marvel. Like, I don't feel like subjecting myself.
Don't read this shit. Like, don't.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now. Unfortunately, I ended up getting caught with a subscription, so I already have. If it doesn't get canceled by then, I have 12 guaranteed issues of this shit. So, but no, don't get. This is a terrible. I've covered it. This is a terrible first issue, but it doesn't surprise me. But again, if you got to combat this, you got to understand this shit is at every level. So this is why I appreciate the guys that there's the EVSs of the world who are vets in this game, and they come out speaking against this shit. Like this is necessary because it's at every level. It's not just at the like the writing level. Like there's filters to this shit, in which they are allowing. Because that's what I was thinking when I was like, who allowed this shit to, what was the editor? Where was the, like, who allowed this shit? Who thought this was a good idea? You know what I mean? So there had to been, there's this filters to this shit, there's levels to this shit, and there's multiple people within this game. There's multiple moving parts that allow shit like this social justice sort of infestation that's in comics right now. There's levels to it. So you got to combat it on different ends. This is why, again, I can't say enough. I appreciate you guys and what you guys are doing, and it's why it's so necessary, because we got to be front lines with this shit, because we got to bring these guys out of the shadows, because I know it ain't us.
That's why Ethan started Comicsgate. I don't think he started Comicsgate, but that's why he's, you know, been such a big promoter of Comicsgate.
Hey, Anna, I'll be right back. I got horrible weather coming in the area. I'll be right back. There's like tornadoes and shit, so I'll be right back.
Yeah. All right. No problem. But yeah, that's why Ethan started Comicsgate, or is a big part and a big promoter of Comicsgate, because of, you know, they don't want to deal with this bullshit in comics. They just want to make comics to write their characters, to tell a story, not to push a political agenda. And guys, I know there's a lot of super chats, but thank you for sending us these, because it starts, you know, topics like this. Like, look, we just went on for like, what, half an hour on one super chat. So thank you. I appreciate it. You guys are adding to the conversation, so I appreciate you. The Price is Right review. Thank you for the super chat. Harpy's channel, hashtag, sorry, I can't read this. Orange cat good, blonde girl bad. I don't think you spelled that correctly, but I think what you're saying is like orange cat good, blonde girl bad. I don't exactly understand, but thank you for the super chat. The Price is Right review. Thank you again for another super chat. Curious question for either of you to see where your lore is in the comics. Dr. Manhattan versus Dark Phoenix. Who wins and why? I will admit, I am not as well versed in, you know, the Marvel universe. I am more of a DC fan, so I am actually going to let Eric take that one.
I heard Dark Phoenix. Who was it? Who was the first one? Who did you say?
Dr. Manhattan.
Ooh, shit. Man,
guys, I don't like me. I don't like Jean Grey very much. And I said this in my video.
Man, that's a tough one, man. Both of them. Dark Phoenix is OP, bro. Like straight up. I can't answer that. That's one of those. The obvious one is Dr. Manhattan, but I'm thinking of so many things that could happen, man. That's a rabbit hole, man. So for the sake of the conversation, so we can move the super chat along, we're going with Dr. Manhattan.
Dr.
But
Manhattan. No problem. All right, let's see. David Cunningham, thank you for the super chat. If you could bring any DC hero into the big screen, who would you choose and why? Oh, I know mine. I honestly, like I said, I'm a huge DC fan. So I was excited, they're gonna try to, the DC stuff. I loved, The Dark Knight. I loved it. I didn't really like The Dark Knight Rises. I was kind of bored. I only saw it that one time in theaters, and I just wasn't as impressed as I thought I was gonna be. And Jeremy, we're talking about if you could bring any DC hero to the big screen, who would it be and why? And I'm going first, and then you guys can go. Tornadoes.
Yeah.
There's tornadoes in Florida, Jeremy?
Yeah. We got. They just went through Alabama and they're heading this way. So if I lose power, that's why.
Oh my God! Do you have a basement?
No.
Do you have a place to go?
No, I'm good. Look, I can beat these tornadoes' ass. We'll see. I hope
I like it.
We'll see.
Okay, you have the superpowers now. But so I was excited when they're like, oh, we're gonna, how Marvel's doing all these movies, we're gonna do the DC, and I thought, they have all this source material, maybe they'll do something epic like how they had it when they had the animations. So when I, watched the Justice League, the cartoon, the way the Justice League was formed was with Superman, was with Jean. I would love to see a Jean movie, and I really liked him when he was introduced, and I like that friendship that they had, and I like how he's the kind of the man behind the scenes. I also loved the whole arc that they have with Hawk Girl, and how her people come and take over, and I've shown that scene before in one of my live streams where they're hiding and Wally is just like, oh, like, I don't want to show you guys, like, what about our secret identities? And Bruce Wayne's just like, you're this, I'm Bruce Wayne. And he's just like, well, what? So I would love to see, like, them do an actual Justice League movie with the characters that actually started the Justice League. It wasn't Batman. Batman was like, this is stupid. And then he just kind of got on board. So I would like to see them do that. And then they could even, it's infinite. Then they could do the Justice League Unlimited and show all these other superheroes and introduce them and just continue. And then you could do, a Vixen movie. You could do all of these other characters. And, since they have Shazam, he was part of the, the Justice League Unlimited too. Do that. DC, there you go. Infinite amount of movies, infinite amount of monies. But you got to introduce and do it in, the Justice League and show how it was actually formed. Scrap all that. I hate Batfleck. I hate Ben Affleck. Not Batman. I know you guys hated me when I made that video, but I'm glad he's gone. I had a bottle of wine just to celebrate that. All right.
I hated Affleck's. I hated Affleck's Batman, and I love Ben Affleck, but I hated his Batman. And I'm gonna go with a character that technically has been on the big screen, but I don't acknowledge it. So I would like to see Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, done right. Because I don't acknowledge that one. And if are we talking just DC or Marvel? Because I always want Moon Knight. Okay, because Moon Knight's who I really want. I want a Moon Knight movie. All right, so
Moon Knight's everybody's favorite. Oh man, with me it's hard. I do think that one of the, and some people have ragged on Tom King's Batman. I don't hate it as much as a lot of people do. But for me, it would have to be, and this was more recently implemented. I would like to see. I think that it was a cool implementation of Gotham, the whole Gotham Girl and Gotham, those two superheroes. And I know that's like, again, we're talking about was that Rebirth? That was a new film. Yeah, no, it's Rebirth. Yeah, when they first got introduced. So we're talking very, very recent. Gotham Girl and Gotham. And I do think the Gotham Girl was an interesting implementation because it brought that element, that same element that's been there with Batman, with people that have grown up in Gotham and wanted to save this city, but they actually had superpowers of a Superman, essentially. But I guess that attitude and that approach to Batman. So me, I think those two characters alone just can implement some really, really cool aspects. Gotham's dead. Gotham Girl, not so much, but I do think I want to see those two for sure.
Yeah, I just, even if they did, like, and I think one of the things about DC is they do really good TV shows. Like, obviously, Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series. Even if they, like, did, just Batman and just, went with that and had, Batman showing, Barbara, showing,
Oh, yeah, like the actual Bat, like more of a detective. That's what they should do. They should do like a detective comic, like more of a pro, where you're talking about the whole Bat family, right?
Yes, exactly.
Now it's a lot of them.
It on, and this is something I've been like really like going on the rant about. Do Batman Beyond, bring Michael Keaton back.
That would be awesome.
Batman Beyond would be sick, man.
Yeah,
it was Terry McGinnis.
The right age, it would work perfectly. And then I don't know if you guys, you probably are. I don't know what I'm talking about. You guys like the Alex Ross, how it shows like how in the future and Batman's old and like Superman and Wonder Woman are married, they have kids, but Batman has all like that tech on him because his body's been so messed up and he doesn't have all these superpowers. They could even do that, do Batman Beyond and then do the Alex Ross and like still use Michael Keaton. Because I like Michael Keaton. I think
it makes so much sense to bring Michael Keaton back for Batman Beyond. It's crazy. Like, do it. Just do it.
All of the monies. It's like, do you not want money? Do you not want me to spend my money? I'm not spending it on Star Wars anymore. I got the money. Let me buy it. Let me give it to you.
And by the way, can we keep Armie Hammer away from Batman? Have you guys heard his comments?
Okay, you know what? I saw, did you guys see what happened when Stan Lee died, what he said?
No, I didn't. What he said?
I mean, specifically.
Okay, I will tell you. So I didn't know much about Armie Hammer, and then I watched him in The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and I was like, I like him for a certain reason. But and obviously I don't like to get into the politics stuff, but then, when Stan Lee died, Hugh Jackman, he's been, part of, the X-Men forever. Like since I was a kid, he has a lot of memories with Stan Lee, and he posted, this is my friend. I've been friends with Stan Lee for, years. Here's like all of my memories with Stan Lee. And then, every superhero that's played a superhero in Marvel posted pictures. What does he say? He bashes them. He's like, oh, posting pictures of you with Stan Lee is taking away from his debt. I don't know exactly what he said, but he was, shaming them for posting pictures. I'm like, that's like somebody shaming me if I post a picture of my best friend that died and pictures of us together because I'm, sharing my memories with this person and why I love this person. Don't shame someone because they're, acknowledging, but he's just like, oh, you're just doing it for attention. It's like, no, fuck you. They're trying to do this because their friend died. You're not.
What the fuck is Armie
someone that's grieving?
Anyway, whatever, man. Like
he's crazy. Like the things he was said in that live stream or not the interview a few days ago. I was like,
yeah, I don't want to see it.
Oh my god, it's so bad. It makes
it hurts my soul.
It's so bad. It makes Brie Larson look almost normal. I'm not kidding. He was talking about.
That's tough.
He was talking about. He was like sitting there and he's like, putting my feet up on the table is a sign of white privilege. And he goes, sometimes I don't realize I'm using my white privilege to put my feet on the table.
Those are the worst. What? Those types are the worst.
Doesn't put their feet up on the table.
Yeah.
Those types. So he's signaling, and those are the worst. Those are people I would really. I shame the hell out of people like that. Like I have no shortage of words. Because you're not about to insult me with that whack ass shit. Like by any means. Those are the worst kind of signaling white leftists. Because they're artificially placing themselves as being superior to everybody else. Like ain't nobody say no shit, nothing about kicking your feet up being a signal of white. Nobody give a shit about it. That's some artificially placed power that you gave yourself. Like, look at me, I'm you dickhead. You know what I mean? Like, no. I shame the hell out of people like that, man. I have no tolerance for that.
Guys, we're probably gonna have to start making videos about this if he does become Batman. Which now I hope not. Even though I like him as an actor, I think he was very, very good looking in that one movie. But at the same time, he did make that one movie, the Lone Ranger with Johnny Depp. So, yeah, but hopefully, I mean, when it was first Nick Jonas saying he was going to be Batman, I was like, oh my God, no. You mean Robin. But get a man to play Batman, please. But anyway, let's move on because I got a lot of these to cover. But thank you for the topic, guys. Again, like this, look at how long we just spent on that last question. So I really appreciate you really adding to like the conversation. This is stuff that we love to talk about. So let's see the next one. The Price is Right review. Thank you for the super chat. I hope you enjoyed the Batman versus Darth Vader Star Wars girl. I actually haven't watched it yet. I'm very sorry. I've been trying to get this painting done before I go on my vacation. But thank you. I am going to check it out. It is on my list. Carnival Man Jones, thank you for the super chat. SJWs are the worst. After Stan Lee died, they started dragging his name, saying he was a racist, homophobic. I was like, these people are monsters. Seriously.
Oh, yeah. Any opportunity they can use, they'll use anything.
I'm saying, man,
anything.
These guys aren't playing by the rules, bro. Like these guys are cutthroat, man. This is why I say don't apologize to them and don't like try to compromise. You don't compromise with these types, bro. You just shame them out of their positions, man, because they are some of their tactics, man, are very immoral, if you will, man. Like real talk.
Oh yeah, it doesn't make sense because it's like, okay, everyone has like a goal that they're trying to reach in life usually, or they have ethics. These people, it's like their goals is to start shit and to start drama and to make a giant problem out of nothing. It's like if you're cooking and you spill one droplet on the floor and they're like, oh my gosh, the whole world is ending.
Yeah.
We're gonna get ants because you're in the middle of cooking. Obviously, you're gonna clean when you're done cooking, but you spilled like one drop of sauce on the floor. It's the biggest thing, and that's exactly what they do. But thank you for the super chat. Lowe's, thank you for the super chat. I apologize, anyone, if I pronounced your name incorrectly. SJWs should have learned from history. France declared war on Persia to prevent a united Germany, and the war ended with a united Germany. That's why history is taught in school. It's so that way you do not repeat the mistakes of the past. These people don't know history. These people have never taken history lessons. Like I say in many of my videos, they've never read a book. They've never watched a movie. They don't know about what they're talking about. And, that's why now I've started taking screenshots of people that are commenting on my videos. I'm like, you didn't watch it. You saw a thumbnail. You saw the title. You made assumptions and you commented and you look ridiculous. Ignorance is bliss. Let's see. The Price is Right review. Thank you for the super chat. As a conservative living in liberal Illinois, I completely agree with you guys. Politics don't belong in entertainment, regardless of anyone's politics. Exactly. And I think this is what I said in one of my videos. When I'm watching, Civil War, I understand why they're talking about, politics in their universe. It makes sense why Iron Man is dealing with, his PTSD and he feels like signing the Accords because he feels guilty for all the people that are died. And Captain America, he does feel guilty, but he's on the opposite side. He's like, hey, you know what? I don't think that we should have to, ask for permission to save people. And then you can look at X-Men where, Magneto has his opinions because of his past experiences, and Xavier has his own, and they clash. That's the type of politics that belong because it fits within their universe, within this fantastical universe with superheroes. Our stuff doesn't belong in that. It doesn't belong in comics. It doesn't belong in that. It doesn't belong in Star Wars because those are different universes. That's what we're going to escape to. That's what that is. We don't need obviously all of us live in the real world. We have to deal with all the stuff that's going on. Eric, you have your own political beliefs. Jeremy, you have yours as well. I have mine as well. I don't talk about mine. You guys do, which is, you're right. These are your channels. It's your place to talk about what you want to talk about. And, that's our real life. We go to this stuff. It's because we like it. Sometimes you want to escape from real life situations.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, and as far as my politics go, SJWs, all you loser male feminists, all you little bitch boys. The reason I talk about my politics now is because of you. Because for the longest, I kept my politics private. I didn't want people to know I was a Trump supporter because I was like, it'll hurt my brand. You know what I mean? It'll hurt what we're trying to do. And I have people on my team that aren't Trump supporters, because I don't care about your political beliefs. I don't call people and also go, hey, let me lift your skirt. Okay. Who do you fuck? Okay. Who did you vote for? Okay. What's your favorite food? Things like that. I just, if you seem like you're trustworthy, you have a level of common sense, I'm good working with you. But finally, I got so fed up with the fact that I'm like, I'm not going to be shamed into the fact that I'm a Trump supporter. I'm a Trump supporter, and I am. I was an Obama supporter. You know, I hated George Bush, but I am apparently a far right-wing conservative Republican, even though I'm not. You know, I'm a very, very down the middle person when it comes to politics. I'm an individualist. That's what I am. Your
but
speakers
people don't actually watch your content. They just like, they see something and then they label you. That's exactly what they do.
Right, exactly. And I mean, and I'm a Klansman apparently, because I gave Black Panther an 8 out of 10. So we've almost got 1,000 likes, people. We need 33 more. So smash that melee button. Simple request from a simple man. Okay. All right, go ahead, Anna. Sorry.
Mega81, thank you for the super chat. Gail Simone attacked my being a writer on Twitter. Well, again, that's SJWs for you. They will attack you on anything. Like last night, I shared a screenshot of somebody that commented on my video, and they didn't watch the video. They even like said, like, oh, by this girl's title, she's gonna freak out and make a bunch of videos when all the guys start boycotting episode 9. And I was like, you've never watched any of my videos, have you? Obviously. And then like I hashtag ignorance is bliss, because that's if you're gonna go out of your way to comment on someone's video, like obviously if you don't like it, you just go to the next one. That's what normal fucking people do. But no, these people, they have to sit there and they're like, let me write my little comment. So it's gonna, add to this. Let me give my opinion. And then it's like anyone that watches it, that does their research, will know the truth. And so I posted that, and then everyone's like, oh, like, kind of laughing about it, because those people actually watch my videos. They know who I am. They know what my content is about. And then one person's like, so you bash on people that don't agree with you and you call them stupid? I'm like, I didn't call him stupid. I'm not bashing on him. I'm just saying it's funny. Like, it's a joke. So they're going to come after you no matter what you say. And the things about them is they don't do their research. They don't actually know what they're talking about. They're just going to virtue signal. So I apologize that you have to deal with that. But the more that you get involved with this, it's only going to get worse. I mean, just look, Eric's banned from Twitter right now.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
and he didn't start the fight.
Yeah, like now.
He got banned for it.
Yeah, these people I'm telling you, man, like these people are nuts, man. Like these people are insane, and they will do whatever they can to this is why you got to push back, man. Like I actually got to a point to where I started getting irritated at those that half-ass like try to play. Like you can't play with, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I don't think you can play like half-ass with these guys, man. Like these, because they full force. You know what I mean? They're trying to figure out every single medium they can get at you, and they do the most vile shit. They'll call you names, they'll slander, they'll lie about you, they'll dox you. Like, we're not dealing with the people here, so ain't no sense in trying to compromise with these people. Oh, they gotta no, fuck that. Like, they're wrong, and they need to be told that. That has to be the approach. Can't be no apologetic. You got to be straightforward with them. And just be honest, because again, they are going to infest whatever they can and whatever other people allow them to do, man. That's just that's how they operate.
You can't argue with a child. Like when a child does something bad and you're like, okay, no, you're in timeout, you can't play with your toys, and they throw a temper tantrum because you tell them no. That's what I found is dealing with an SJW. It's like they're throwing a fucking temper tantrum and you have to treat them like they're 5 years old.
Yeah, they'll be like, no, bro, like it's no more.
To them because they don't understand, because they'll freak the fuck out and you'll get banned. So you literally have to treat them like a child. And he's like, no, you're wrong. When you're older, you will understand. But right now, you're in timeout.
The chat's calling Nightbot an SJW.
Sorry, Jeremy Siobhan is a manager.
Is she?
She's a manager for my Nightbot. If she can fix it, I don't know.
I got it.
I don't know why it's flagging everyone so much. Like, because I put in a list of words, but the things that it's flagging people, nobody's saying that list.
Hey, man, Nightbot is cutthroat, bro. Ain't no nonsense shit. Same in my chat, man. My stream I was doing the other day, Nightbot wasn't playing no games, bro. Like none.
I guess the way to get around it is pretend you're back in like high school, like 10th grade English, and you got to type correctly. And don't use bad words. Use nice words.
I'll get her on it. I'll mute for a minute.
Okay, no problem. Let's see. I'll read a couple more super chats then. But where was I? Make it today one. Thank you again for another super chat. Responded with a video and Twitter bombed her. Oh, good, good. I'm glad that you won that. I remember yesterday somebody was spamming my because once you start making videos, it'll flag some comments. So sometimes people will comment, they're like, "Oh, why'd you delete my comment?" I'm like, "I didn't. I don't delete comments." But what happens is YouTube will flag certain comments as either inappropriate or spam, and they put them into a separate folder. And us content creators, we have to go in and manually delete every single one. For one video, I had 12,000 comments, just for one video, and I had about 1,000 of them that got flagged. So I had to go through, and I still haven't gone through all of it, but a lot of it was from this one account. So I went in and clicked this one account. It was some guy in his room, and he I don't like saying stuff about people that if English isn't their first language, I understand, but this guy was struggling to get out words, and I think it was because of his anger, not because of him not having English as his first language.
Yeah.
Bashing Jeremy, and it was you could just see he couldn't speak because of how angry he was. And so I'm like, you haven't watched his video and now you're spamming my video and you didn't even watch it. You're not even talking about what this video is about. And so I sent Jeremy the video and he posted it on Twitter, and then the guy deleted it. So I'm like,
sounds about right.
Of course. Yeah, of course he did. Of course. Siobhan is in Alabama and her power's out for the same storm that's heading my way, so she can't do anything right now.
Gotcha.
So anyway, guys, with the Nightbot, we're sorry. Look, it's the first time we've
I'll fix it. I apologize. It is honestly, guys, for my own protection in my channel, just because I have gotten so many people spamming. That's why I had to add a lot of moderators, and I've cut back on that because of Nightbot, and because I just want to make sure that there's not people spamming my channel, because I know that I don't usually talk about this on my channel, but I think everyone is aware of the situation that happened, and Jesse made a video about it. And because of that video, people started spamming my account, saying stuff about me and calling me, racial slurs and whatnot, which I mean, whatever, F you to that. If that's if you want to attack me and actually have valid points, then go ahead and do that. We can have, a debate. That's fine. But if you just want to come on and say, I'm a stupid cunt, that's something that I don't need to hear. That's not even a valid argument. That's just your opinion. So stuff like that, I put in all the bad words. It's gonna flag it. I apologize, but it's just so that way you guys don't get spammed by people like that.
Yeah, and Jesse went full. If you didn't go see that video, Jesse went full B Rabbit on Papa Doc. It was bad. Jesse just owned the situation. So shout out to the God Empress.
Yeah, the God Empress. Are you familiar with Jesse, Eric?
I don't think so. I'm not sure.
You'll love Jesse.
So, yeah. If you see her stuff, you'll love her. She did a video on Geeks and Gamers today about Captain Marvel.
Okay, yeah. No, most definitely. I'm gonna look into
the girl that had the short hair with the bangs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me get back into these super chats, guys. Let's see. Where was I? PEEPA.
GRP poll. GRP poll.
GRP poll. Oh, I didn't want to say the word, but it's okay.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know if that meant something or if it was inappropriate, but yeah, that's kind of, no offense, kind of a weird name, but to each their own, I guess. But thank you for the super chat. Mad respect for your guest, Anna. He survived a Twitter swarming from the Rin famous lady, that Rin famous lady. Yeah, probably.
That fucking idiot.
Deals with that all the time. I have never been in contact with her. She has never posted about me that I know of. I wonder if she's blocked me. Maybe that's why I haven't seen anything. But
if she ain't got worked her way to you yet, she gonna get there. Trust me.
Yep.
It's funny because they called it out. They said she's gonna put Eric on the list, and sure enough, I came in the cross.
If she goes against me, she will 100% lose. That's just something that I'm like, okay, I don't have patience for people like that, but I'm not one of those people, unless they hurt my friends and stuff, and unless they come in and attack me and go out of my way, I deal with, people that like their voice being heard. She's making noise because she wants attention. If you give people like that attention, it's exactly what they want. So when I just ignore them and it pisses them off. Like people have gone and like commented on my Twitter and I just don't acknowledge them. And they're just like, oh, she's too afraid. I'm like, that just shows that they're insecure because they want me to pay attention to them. And I'm not, because, you know, when a child is in timeout, they are not, you know, they're not allowed to play. They're not allowed to do anything. They have to sit there and serve their time.
Man, these fools hitting runners anyway. Like I welcome it over. I deal with this shit on the political side of things, like with people bombard my posts every now and then because I said something they don't like. Like all y'all got to do is email. It's just as simple as emailing me. I will come on anybody's platform and I will debate, argue with any of you motherfuckers, like on these topics, like outside of the 204, I don't know how many characters you allowed on Twitter, like outside of that, like standing toe to toe, just intellect to intellect.
And they
like
won't.
they will not do it. They never do it. They never. The amount of arguments that I've got into it with people online, and I'm like, hey man, they tell you you're a dumbass, you're stupid. I do this, I do that. All right, man, set it up. Just hit it up. Hit me up. They go. Same with definitely these blue check marks. For those that aren't familiar with my, work, me and rapper Talib Kweli kind of have had multiple beefs over the years, and I done called that dude out to have a legitimate debate, a cordial debate, and then when he called me out my name, I said I'll box you for charity. For any charity of your we'll raise all the money. I will box for charity. Winner decides where the money goes. These fools be running from me, man. So these are not people that want to stand. They want to sit online and knock your lie, slander to their following. But when it comes to like actually engaging in some cordial, honest dialogue, they ain't about that. They not about that by any means. They don't have
anything to back up their arguments. It's like people that just come on, like people all the time. Like even I commented on a video that Odin from Odin's Movie Vlog did on Geeks and Gamers channel. I was like, great video, Odin. People immediately were like, oh, you're a fake fangirl. Oh, your voice is annoying. And I'm just like, I literally just left a comment saying, great video, Odin. Because he's my friend and I liked his video. It was very informative. And so people, they don't have anything to actually say about like actual criticism. All they have is their opinions and, oh, well, you know what? You don't agree with my opinion, so I hate you. And, you're a stupid bitch. You're, a racist. You're this, you're that. And it's like, okay, you want to actually have an argument? You want to sit down and have a debate? Because they can't. And guys, I know I said this before. I am going to get through all of these, but again, you guys these comments that you're leaving is really adding to, our conversation. So thank you. Thank you for being a part of this. And let's see. Ben Jones, thank you for the super chat. As a comic skate creator and Black, you should see how many times I've been called Uncle Tom or I'm lost and confused.
So crazy, man. It's so insulting how you can just be of a certain color and people just completely rob you of your agency. That's what they're literally, or they're attempting to rob you of your agency, because they are saying that because you look a certain way, you have a certain amount of melanin in your skin. Well, your thoughts are supposed to be this. You're supposed to have this. It's completely trying to rob you of your. It's insulting. They try to rob you of your agency, and I get that too. You're confused. You're self-hater. Like, because
so just because you look a certain way, that means you can't have a certain opinion.
It's crazy, man. When you break it down like that, it's so fucking stupid. Like, to bluntly put it, it's fucking stupid to have such a position to say that, oh man, because you look a certain way, you're supposed to have a certain position, and because you don't fit in that box that I've placed you in, there's something wrong with you. Ain't nothing wrong with the person that's making this idiotic accusation or idiotic comment. It's something wrong with the person that just has a different position from what you're accustomed to seeing out of people that have that particular color, as if we're all supposed to think and act alike. That shit is insulting, man. That shit is so insulting.
Well, and that's why conversations like this, videos like this, live streams like this, collaborations, these are important, because I watched people, like I can't tell you the amount of people that have reached out to me and said I inspired them to do whatever, but I had people inspire me. I had people inspire me before I started speaking out against this stuff. So it's like you all have the ability to have an impact, and it's like I look at it and I hear people say I inspired them, and I don't really understand that. I'm just like, really? I mean, because I look at other people that I watched and I'm like, man, I feel the same way, and I need to get off the fence. I need to be the asshole that I am in real life.
There you go.
And so you watching these videos, anybody that's watching, that's subscribed, that's liking, that's sharing, you are playing just as big a part in this as we are. If you're supporting us, if you're trying to get the word out there, but you also have the ability to use your own voice too. And that's what we want to do, because the one thing I love about this side of the argument, which is the right side of the argument, which is the common sense side of the argument, is none of us are jealous about each other's success.
You know,
we don't sit there and go, oh, that person. Yeah, because a lot of these fucking YouTubers are really bitch boys, and they can't stand 100%. For other people to have success. They get really upset. And like Eric was saying earlier about how he's talked to people in the music industry, things like that go, oh, man, I really agree with what you're saying, but I can't say it. I have heard from some major YouTube channels that a lot of you know, and I'll never expose them because I appreciate the confidence that they've shown in me, but they're like, dude, I agree with everything you're saying, but I cannot say it myself. You actually can, but I get it. I respect where you're coming from. You've built your platform. You do what's best for you, but you can say it, but they won't, because they're intimidated to be called a racist, to be called a sexist by the same people that said I should be put a Klan hat on because I gave fucking Black Panther an 8 out of 10. These people are obsessed with bullying you into saying and thinking what they want you to say. And you have to show them, I don't really give a fuck what you say. I really don't. So, all right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was so into that. Let's see, where was I? David Cunningham, thank you for the super chat. Jeremy, which do you prefer, a glass of lemonade or a glass of SJW tears?
SJW tears, man, they're the best. They're the best. I'm actually I'm going to I'm looking at the comments about Nightbot. It's so funny. Anyway, as I guys,
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. But as I continue to do upgrades to my 300ZX, I'm going to monitor it on my personal channel, D-Day Cobra, and we're going to dedicate that to the SJWs. Like, as we continue to make that car faster and louder and more masculine, we're going to actually we're going to document that and dedicate that to all the soy boys sitting at Starbucks drinking their latte with their ankle choker jeans on. That's what we're going to do. So,
their nose rings and their eyebrow rings and their blue hair.
Oh my God.
All right. Tony, I apologize if I did not pronounce that right. I look life and entertainment from positive and optimistic viewpoint. Social justice, inclusion, diversity can be positive, but if done negatively, it becomes toxic and hateful. Wonder Woman is a healthy example. Exactly. But the thing is about Wonder Woman is she wasn't written as a token character, like, oh, Marvel, we need the token standalone female character. No, Wonder Woman was already an established character, and they wrote her because they had this idea, and yes, you can say what you want about the guy that created her, but he had his own personal life, but he wrote an amazing fucking character. That is why Wonder Woman has been around so long. I did not see any men saying, oh my God.
Yeah, they're making that up. It's a projection.
Woman. No, everyone's like, yeah, fuck yeah, we finally get an awesome Wonder Woman movie. Yeah, let's go. Let's do this. I went to the theater. There was all kinds of people there. I mean, considering the theater where I was at, it was like, a bunch of older, people, but still, it was awesome.
Yeah. I went into Wonder Woman, and I was a big critic of Gal Gadot being cast because I was like, she's only been in the Fast and Furious, and she was basically just a hot chick in the Fast and Furious. It's not like she was there for acting, and very critical. I went into Wonder Woman, and I was blown away at how great that movie was, at how great Gal Gadot was, and how great of a job that Patty Jenkins did by. She didn't have to tear the man down to elevate the woman. They had confidence.
That's so simple, bro. Like, that's all we're asking. When we say that we will get behind a female character without any sweat, that's all we're saying. Like, you don't have to sacrifice, try to knock at other people's, like the man. You can still have a wonderful, amazing character, developed character, without having to do that. That's all we're saying. When people say that, it's so nonsensical. And this is why they're being dishonest, because they're trying to act like the criticism for Captain Marvel is the same as Wonder Woman. Like, that's just false. It's not the same amount of criticism. Gal Gadot didn't put her foot in her mouth multiple times like Brie Larson has done. But again, most people walked out of that movie, for the vast majority, criticism aside, went into the movie expecting decent things and came out of the movie knowing that it was great. We have no problem getting behind these characters. It's not that people dislike female characters or hate women or anything like that. That's not the position. I think deep down they know that, but because they can't form an argument against your actual position, They go full NPC and they have to make up. It's a straw man, but they have to make up a position and argue against that. So it's like, all right, damn, that might not be your position, but I'm gonna form the argument as if that is your position and argue against that instead. It's so intellectually dishonest.
Yeah, and I mean, my biggest criticism of Wonder Woman was I knew exactly who the villain was the second they came on the screen. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched Wonder Woman. If you haven't done that, I'm sorry, you should have done that by now. But my biggest thing was, their whole thing was, it was a plot twist kind of thing. But it wasn't a plot twist because the second that Lupin came, and yes, again, I call, actors by, their most iconic role. I know some people don't like that, but that's how I remember him. So when I saw Professor Lupin show up in Wonder Woman, I'm just like, oh, he's presenting himself as the good guy, but he's the freaking bad guy. He's the guy with the cane, but in reality, he's going to be, Ares. I knew it right off the bat when I saw it. So when they're going after, the other people, the woman with the mask and, the other guy, the German, since this was World War I. Oh, gotcha. I lost my train of thought. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, so it's going to be a plot twist. I knew instantly. But that was my criticism of that, was that they didn't disguise it very well. And since I didn't see him anywhere in the marketing, I was like, oh, it's because they want to hide the fact that he's the villain. And I mean, you can argue on the opposite end of the spectrum with Alita. And if you guys haven't seen Alita, don't listen for the next 30 seconds because I'm about to spoil it. But they didn't do any promotion that Edward Norton was in the movie. Not at all. I went and looked because I remember the clips that they show of the villain that you never directly see him until the end of the movie in like 10 seconds of screen time. But, he's always there. He's always watching because they have technology. He has the ability to look through other characters' eyes. He's always watching. That's the whole thing about him. And at the end, you see him and you see that it's Edward Norton. I had to go and look. I'm like, where? I did not see this anywhere. What do you mean Edward Norton is in this movie? I would have loved to have known that. That would have even driven a lot of people to go see this movie because Edward Norton is a very good actor. I mean, yeah, you can say anything about his work ethic, but at the end of the day, he puts out, good freaking movies. He's a good actor. And so, I even saw he's uncredited. That, big of a star, and he's uncredited in this movie. Damn, and that was a big plot twist. But the way that they did it in Wonder Woman, I was just like, I don't like when I can predict movies, or at least the end, which is getting easier and easier to do nowadays because the people that are making them don't know how to write.
Anna, that spoiler girl.
Were you surprised?
No, Anna, that spoiler girl is what they're saying.
I gave you warning. I said it before. I give everyone warning.
Real quick, and somebody just posted in the Geeks and Gamers Facebook group, and they're whining and calling, saying that there's a censorship going on your channel, and you learning the rope is not an excuse. You are an SJW posing as a supporter of us. You can go fuck yourself, just like I told you in the comments of the Facebook group. I've explained this. It was my idea to bring the idea to Anna about Nightbot because I told her, hey, you need this on your chat because it's getting, the growth you're going through. The person that made this post is a person that's never accomplished anything in their life because when you are a successful person, you understand that when you are seeing success, you start having to make changes and you have to try things. And sometimes things are not as successful at first. Okay. So to the person, that fake SJW that's posing as a supporter of us, go fuck yourself. All right.
Yep. Well, on that note, were you surprised by Edward Norton's reveal at the end?
No, because I knew.
Okay. Well, did I spoil it for you?
No, you didn't. You didn't. I already knew. So.
Okay. How did you know?
I mean, I'd heard about it.
Oh, okay. Well, then.
I got spoiled. Oh no, Did you spoil it for me? No, but it was spoiled for me.
Okay. Well, maybe it was somebody that saw my post about it, and then you got spoiled from that person. So I indirectly spoiled you. I'm going to take credit for that. Okay. Solka Gree, thank you for the super chat. I apologize, everyone. I do butcher names. All this rational and open conversation, it makes no sense. The narrative says you are the bad guys and Brie is the savior. All evidence to the contrary. Hashtag hero and Anna are hashtag she-ro.
Good stuff.
If I was blonde, you guys could call me She-Ra, but I'm not, so I apologize for that. But thank you. Yeah, rational thoughts. Apparently that's illegal nowadays, but in the NPC world. Avoloch, thank you for the super chat. SJWs like feminists but hate femininity. That's true. That is very, very true. But somebody actually brought this to my attention. So how, Captain Marvel, when she did have, Carol Danvers, she had that kind of, what was it, like, it was black and it had, the Z kind of, the lightning bolt thing on it, and she had, like, the sexy type of costume. And I mean, even Wonder Woman, like, she's got a sexy costume. It makes sense, why she's in, the small skirt and, the kind of little bustier, because she's, if she gets cut by like humans, it's not going to do anything to her. She's kind of impervious. She's got the ultra strength. Just like Superman. If he wanted to wear a tank top and shorts, he could. He's freaking bulletproof. But he wears the super suit because, that was the blankets that he was wrapped in anyway. But, okay, Brie Larson is like, let me put on this jumpsuit. Let me put on like this full body turtleneck. But let me have it super slick and tight. And let me hire a butt double, so my ass can look nice. If you didn't want to sexualize yourself, you want to put yourself in this suit, but you gotta hire a butt double because you don't have an ass. Okay, you want guys to sexualize you, then don't hire a butt double.
And how dare you? How dare you use Tom Holland, a white male, who's your butt double? How dare you? I don't know if you've seen that meme going around.
Yeah.
But let's get a butt double so you look sexually appealing to men or women. Yeah, they don't like femininity. They don't like that. They thought, Wonder Woman looked too sexy. Well, look at Gal Gadot. She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's part of the lore. It makes sense why she can wear what she wants. And I mean, it looked like it was very pleasant weather on that island. So I mean, if she was wearing a turtleneck, I don't think she'd probably be sweating. I don't know if they had deodorant there, so I mean, if anything, she's doing everyone a favor. But thank you for the super chat. The Price is Right review. If you want to know two good female YouTubers who attack this hypocrisy all the time for SJWs, check out Weibo Jones and Barbara for you to see. Okay, I will definitely check those out. I have actually never heard of them before, but I am going to look into that. So thank you for the recommendation. Tony Hino, thank you again for the super chat. I apologize again if I pronounced your name wrong. Hidden Figures is one of my favorite movies where you can see true, healthy courage of actual feminism and healthy Muslim strength united. I actually haven't watched that movie. I wanted to, but I missed it in theaters, and I was really upset, and I just haven't watched it. Did you guys watch it?
I haven't seen it.
Which one is this?
Hidden Figures. It's about the women that work for
NASA. I haven't seen it. I had a clan meeting that night, so I just couldn't make it. So,
oh my
god! Go ahead and clip that out and put that one on Twitter, so you can go ahead and he admitted it.
And then monetize it, man. Monetize it when they make the videos, man. Like that's how you got to do it.
Oh man,
that's funny.
That might be a flag, Jeremy. Fifth Bunny, thank you for the super chat. Been here since 200 subs, Anna. Wow, thank you. That was a long time ago. That was about a year ago. So thank you. I appreciate that. Congrats on the explosion, hun. Thank you. I hate it when people call me a hun, but thank you. Like, unless it's like my Ava, that's the only time. But my sister got on this kick. And it's irritating when, my sister that, I remember when she was born. I remember, when we had to teach her how to use a spoon, when she called me hun, I'm like, you're my little sister. Like, you don't even know how to drive a car. Why the hell are you calling me hun? So I feel like that's just been turned into, a condescending word recently. Because
by SJWs too.
Yeah, exactly. No, hun. No.
By SJWs,
when I hear my grandma say it, I'm just like, oh, that's not condescending at all. She's like, oh, hun, like, oh, sweetie, oh, honey, that's nice. But when the second I heard my baby sister say that to me, I was like, who the fuck do you think you are? I'm like, I remember all your embarrassing stuff. I can tell you. But no, yeah. So, but I know you don't mean it in that way. But I just wanted to let everyone know about that. Eric, just found you, and I love your work. Keep it up. Oh, Jeremy, you're an ass, but I heart you.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
If you insult me and we still get along, we will be best friends. So just like I was telling Mahler and Wolf, because they met, through insulting each other basically, and then Wolf kind of didn't totally insult me, but went after me. I responded, and now we're all good. And I'm like, this is how a friendship should be born: insults, and then grown ass men going, you know what, that was a pretty good shot you took at me. Yeah, you too. Hey, let's hang out. That's how it should be. Too many betas are involved now.
Jeremy, when Jeremy talks about Christopher Nolan, and people say, "Oh, that star," like I've gotten this comment multiple times. It's like, "Oh, you're just an echo of Jeremy." I was like, "Have you guys ever seen us talk to one another?" Like, we are not afraid to call each other out on stuff. Like Eric, I don't know where you stand, but I, am a huge Warriors fan. That's because I grew up in, Northern California. I, live in the Bay Area. I went to Warriors games. I am 100% like Warriors are, the shit. I was the one when the playoffs were going on. I was in a sports bar, and I am the only one because I moved down to Southern California, so everyone down here is like a Lakers fan. But I'm like in the bar, and I am screaming watching the playoffs, and everyone's just looking at me because I'm the smallest girl in the bar, and I'm just going livid. And there's like one guy in there that's got like a LeBron jersey on, and I'm just like, fuck this, fuck that. Like, oh my God, how can you not make that shot? You're getting paid millions of dollars. How can you not make a free throw? So I forgot where. But then Jeremy, even though he's not a big LeBron fan, he and I will get into huge arguments about it because he's like, Anna, you got to acknowledge he's a good player. I was like, I know he's a good player, but fuck him,
That's fantastic.
No, I mean, the no matter what. I mean, Jesse literally went on my channel and called me out over talking about Trump on the channel, and she criticized me. I knew obviously I knew the video was happening. I edited the goddamn video. I uploaded the video, and people are like, yeah, all of his people just agree with him. What? What are you talking about? Have you ever watched any of these videos? You know what I mean? It's so they don't though. They don't. And I love when we can point out their stupidity and their ignorance. It's a beautiful thing. So.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's see. Nicholas Baru. Thank you for the super chat. Hey, Anna. Oh, thank you. It's ANNA, but that might have been a typo. But thank you. Hey, Anna, just got my tax return. So here you go. Thank you. That reminds me, I need to do my taxes. I don't want to, but worst time of year, guys. Worst time of year. And I love how Star Wars Celebration is on tax day. There you go. Keep screaming in those SJW ears louder than TIE fighter engines. Thank you. That's a sweet super chat. I appreciate it. I'm proud of you for getting on that. I have gotten like all my W-2s and I'm just like not. It's so frustrating because being a freelance artist, it's like I have to keep all my own receipts, and then like my accountant, like I'm Portuguese, so like literally we have a cousin for everything. And so one of my cousins is an accountant, and every time they're just like, God damn it, Anna, God damn it. And I'm just like, I'm so sorry, I'm making you work harder. And they're like, you're so lucky we're related. And I'm like, I know, thank you for putting up with my craziness. But thank you. I great for you. Props to you. Everyone, put like a thumbs up in the chat for Nicholas for getting his taxes done. Good for you, dude. Good for being on top of that. Christian Massell, thank you for the super chat. I'm proud of the fact that you're from my hometown. Santa Ana rocks. Oh, well, thank you. I'm actually not from Santa Ana. I actually got that P.O. box. So there's a giant IKEA down here in Orange County, which is, I think it's technically in Santa Ana, but there's a post office with a parking lot. And the post office that's like by my house, it doesn't have a parking lot. It's insane to find parking. So that post office that I got my P.O. box at, it has a parking lot, and it's right down the street from IKEA, and I love going to IKEA because their Swedish meatballs are off the hook. So I was like, okay, I like this one, so I go out of my way. So I'm actually not from Santa Ana. I am from Northern California. I grew up in a tiny small town called Gustine. It's a small Portuguese town. There is no stoplight in that town, and there never will be. And then I moved when I was in high school because my parents split up, and I went to the same high school as George Lucas in Modesto. So I went to Thomas Downey High School, and then I moved to San Francisco, and then after I graduated college, I moved down to Southern California, and I am in the Santa Ana area. I don't live in Santa Ana, but I'm in the area. But yeah, Santa Ana is cool. They got some amazing tacos. Like, oh my God, downtown Santa Ana has the best Mexican food. It is so good. But cool that you're around here. But thank you for the super chat. Aaron Friedman, I'm sorry if I butchered that. Thank you for the super chat, even though you didn't say anything. Ransom G, thank you for the super chat. The only reason why Emily Blunt is in Captain America is because I think they're saving her for Invisible Woman for the Fantastic Four. John K will be Mr. Fantastic. Oh, her husband? No. Is that her husband's name? John? But that'd be cool if she's, you know, in the Fantastic Four. I'm down if they did they even get the rights for that yet?
I have no idea.
It's in the process. I don't know if it's actually official, but it's in the process. So it will be official if it's not yet.
That would be dope if she's Sue Storm.
Let's see. I'm probably I see people in the comments talking about it. I'm probably going to have to bounce here in about 5 or 10 minutes as tornado warnings are all around us right now.
Yeah. You take care of yourself, dude. I got a lot of super chats, so I'm going to get through them. And then
all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and bounce now just so you guys can get in a rhythm. Eric, pleasure to meet you. And everybody, thank you for being understanding about the Nightbot situation. Again, that's all on me because I recommended it to her. She's got to work out the tweaks. We'll work on that. Good job, Anna. We had over 1,000 people for the most part. We're at 1,100 likes. Share the video. Subscribe to Eric's channel. Subscribe to Anna. Subscribe to Geeks and Gamers. And subscribe to
Jeremy.
Yeah, I will. You guys have a good one. Thanks for having me on, okay?
No problem.
All right, bye.
Oh my goodness, I couldn't even imagine being in a tornado warning. That's scary. Do you guys get that?
Texas, so we get those. It's like clockwork out here. I'm in Tornado Valley. I'm in North Texas, so
I've only seen like in California since there's not any of that. Like I see like dust like in clouds and everything, but nowhere near like from movies. Like when I think about a tornado, I think about like, you know, the Wizard of Oz, and I'm like, holy crap.
Some of them get like that, some of them not. Most of them aren't. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I'm in North Texas, so we get them all the time. We get them all the time.
That's so scary. You know, people always say, "Oh, California, there's earthquakes," and I'm like, it's literally like I'll move my camera. It's like this, like that, like nothing happens. It's like okay, but everyone's like, "Oh," because I remember as a kid, I was like, "I'm never gonna live in San Francisco," because like. They talk about that huge earthquake that happened in 1906, and I'm just like, oh, I can never live there. That's scary. And then I lived there, and that was fine.
Yeah.
But we're like overdue for one. So when that happens, I'm like, I moved out of San Francisco, so hopefully I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. House Stark for life! Exclamation point! Thank you for the super chat. Dear That Star Wars Girl, as a woman, I really appreciate that you're showing that a lot of women are tired of this SJW crap ruining fandoms that we love. Thank you. I am glad that you appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, honestly, when you do something like are you familiar with Game of Thrones, Eric?
Not too familiar. That's one thing that everybody keeps saying, hey, get into, but I haven't got into, so y'all kill me in the chat for it. It's fun.
You need to watch it. It's so good. I was gonna say something, but then that will spoil it for you. And are you planning on watching it?
I haven't planned, but I mean, if everybody keeps kind of seducing, well, I can't call it that, but people keep saying, "Hey, man, you would like this, right?" So maybe I will. I mean, I haven't been too incentivized, but we'll see.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I would highly recommend watching it. After this season, you won't have to suffer like all of us for waiting for seasons to come out. I think you would like it.
Cool. All right.
So I would recommend it, but I was going to say something, but if I do, that's going to spoil a lot for you, so I'm not going to say it.
For sure.
But thank you, House Stark for life, for your super chat. 33 Omega, thank you for the super chat. I'm subscribed to all 3 of your channels, and it's awesome to see collaborations like this. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you. And thank you, everyone, for, I had seen Eric's channel, but a lot of people left me comments in my video saying, like, hey, you guys should do a collab. And then you just happened to be streaming the other night, and I commented on his stream, and I was like, hey, like, I was like, let's do a collab. And he's like, okay, cool. And so I emailed him, and then, here we are.
Yeah, there we are. And it's nice link up. We need much more of it. I appreciate it much definitely. And everybody because it's the same thing. People hit me up like, hey man, there's other people within this community talking about some of the things you're talking about. You need to link up with them. I think it would be a great connect, great collaboration. And now here we are. So most definitely it's fun for me. And I can't stress enough how important I think that is, just going forward in this whatever battle that we're in, and trying to combat this and really save some of the subcultures that we're a part of. I think it's important that we have folks like us just really acknowledge each other's existence, because again, I think we have strength in numbers, most definitely.
Oh yeah, and it's like one of the things is they're like, oh, it's like this small group of trolls and Russian bots, and it's like, no, we're actual.
Yeah, it's a bunch
we're
of us,
all
man.
real people with real lives, with real actual like world problems, but we all just happen to like the same things, and we're so sick and tired of this bullshit. So I think us coming together scares the living shit out of them, but it works out on our ends because we get to talk about the stuff that we love and we get to make new friends.
Yep. That's what it's about, right?
Yep. All right. Michael Easterwood, or Esterwood. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Thank you for the super chat. I bought tickets to Greta on Thursday. I don't think I've heard of that. Because that and Captain Marvel were the only ones on Fandango. FYI, big fan of being a libertarian. When I need a laugh, I just scroll through memes. Works every time.
Oh yeah, man. We keep the memes on deck, man. Being a libertarian, man, for sure. But no, it's a lot of good material over there. So I appreciate that. We appreciate that. That was something that I co-found. That was 2015. So I just got out of came back from Corvus when we started that. And for it to grow as big again, it's like arguably if not the biggest libertarian publication right now, next to some of the others. But it's been wonderful, man, to see that kind of come into fruition like that. And it's cool that a lot of people that see the comic videos now like, oh man, I see your stuff over there at being libertarian too, man. It's kind of cool. So most definitely, man, I appreciate that.
Yeah. I haven't checked it out, but if there's funny memes, I love.
It's also plenty of funny memes. We keep them on deck, man.
My favorite memes are always the one from The Office. Like there was one, and it's just like one of the things that keeps popping up on my feed is like all this stuff about anti-vaxxers, and it's like this one kid that's just like, oh, like my mom is like, oh look, my kid's 13 and still alive, and then it's like Jim that's looking through like the blinds, and it's like my dad who's smiling because he got me vaccinated. And I just couldn't stop laughing, and I'm just like, oh my god. And then like the one where it's like when Michael is like just being all creepy.
Yeah,
and like,
man.
This is the way that SJWs watch us, and it's like I love The Office. Let's see. Kaiju Bait, thank you for the super chat. I'm curious to hear all of your thoughts on Godzilla King of the Monsters. It's what I'm most looking forward to this year. I'm a big Godzilla fan. My mom, ironically, is a big Godzilla fan, and that's why I got into it, because for some reason, my mom loves Godzilla. Well, I know why, like, a majority of the people like Godzilla, but my mom, like, out of all the things for my mother to like, that's what she likes. But cool, it got me into it as a kid. It was, like, the one nerdy thing that my mother liked. But I'm skeptical about this one. That other new one where it was in, I think that one was in San Francisco too. I was like, I don't know. I just like the old ones. The old ones are so good, even with the bad effects. Like I remember when he fights Mothra, and it's like, oh, it's funny, but it's classic. What do you think about this new one?
Man, I'm not too familiar with what's going on. Godzilla movies, at least the recent ones. I just stumble across them, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll watch it. And stuff like that. Because man, I'm at an age. I say at age like I'm 40. Man, I'm fucking 28 years old. But like the only movies that I watch really are just like straight up. This is why I like comic book movies, like straight up. Like I guess you can consider those action movies, but like I don't even watch comedies for the most part. I used to be a big comedy guy, but now it's like somebody has to die, like, or get their ass kicked severely for me to like be intrigued by the movie. Like any movie, I don't give a damn about the plot. If I see a bunch of fighting in the like previews, I'm like, hey man, we got to go see that. I don't care. I'm going to just watch John Wick. When I saw that, I was like, oh man, I'm all over this. Just because like literally those are the movies I watch. Yeah. No, it has a great, but even if it didn't, I would have been all over that just because people were getting shot. And like, again, those are only movies that I seem to watch these days. Like comedies that I watch now, for example, I'm not saying Godzilla's a comedy. I'm just using that as an example. Like, but I just go rewatch old ones. Like Big Lebowski is probably my favorite movie of all time. But nowadays, all I watch is action movies. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know somebody commented in one of my videos saying that because I'm a girl, like I don't understand action movies and like God. I need to watch action movies. I'm like, do you know? Oh, okay, that's stupid on its own. But outside of Star Wars, like one of the things that my family was like so surprised about was I was 5 years old and I loved James Bond. Like I just remember it was on TV, and my parents like were just so shocked that I'm this 5-year-old child, and I'm just like, James Bond is the coolest human ever. And they're my other family members, they're like, you're watching your 5-year, like you're letting her watch this? Like there's grown-up stuff in James Bond. They're like, she loves it. And I'm just like, James Bond is so cool. I want his cool gadgets and all that. And like, there's a lot of action in James Bond movies.
Oh, yeah.
James Bond is the freaking man. The Matrix, action movie. Great fucking movie. Great story behind it.
Yeah. No, those
are. I'm a girl doesn't mean I can't like action movies.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that stuff is just like ridiculous. Let's see. Leo Baker 49, thank you for the super chat. Afternoon, folks. Glad to see young Ripa 59 on one of these streams. Been hoping to see him share his take with the rest of Comics Cake and GG, or in Comics Cake and Geeks and Gamers. Well, you guys requested him. I saw his content and I liked it, and I reached out, and here we are. And we'll probably see a lot more of him in this community now that introductions have been made.
Oh, yeah. I'll be around for sure.
All right. Matthew Griffith, thank you for the super chat. This is soft bigotry. This is the soft bigotry of low expectations.
Yep, that's the social justice, man. They place you in a box. They say you have to act like this. You will act like this, and if you don't act like this, something's wrong with you. And they're expecting that out of you, though they don't hold other people, specifically more so like white males. They don't hold them to that standard. So that's exactly what it is. We can't place it any better than bigotry by way of low expectations.
It's sad how much everything has just fallen.
Yeah. 100%.
The sign of Zeta. Thank you for the super chat. Nah, I have a better one. Dr. Manhattan versus Q from Star Trek. Who would win? Q.
Jesus Christ.
Are you familiar with Star Trek?
Yeah, man. But come on, man.
Well, you don't like Q?
Come on, man. I have a Dr. Manhattan. I mean,
I think just because I don't know if you've seen I think it's because I'm not as familiar again with a Marvel, but I know Q. I know what he's capable of. And did you ever watch? They did this debate at one of the Star Trek conventions, and it's like Leonard Nimoy and Q, and he's like Spock versus Q debate, and it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. But I'm just picking Q because I like Q because I a lot of people hate him and they're just, but I love Q episodes. I think they're so funny.
Yeah, I thought we were talking about like just strictly just I don't know, like power. Like I thought that was an ironic joke. I hope not. But Dr. Manhattan, he's first of all, let me just say that I do think that is for those that aren't on. This is just kind of a plug. I don't work for DC, obviously, but the Doomsday Clock stuff, y'all need to be on that. Like this is so good. I don't know if you guys have read, what would that be? More so Convergence, everything post-Convergence, Rebirth era, going into DC Universe era of DC Comics, man, because now they're kind of merging those the Watchmen world with Doomsday Clock. So most definitely, I think that's another good run. I didn't mention that earlier when I was talking about some of my favorite runs right now. So it's not a run necessarily. It's more of these realms are getting brought together. So pay attention to that stuff. DC's on to something with that.
I just love DC. And it's funny. People always say like, because I don't talk about DC very much because they're not doing it as much for me to talk about. But I did the one like Marvel video and everybody's like, wow, I love your passion for Marvel. And it's like, yeah, I like Marvel. Like I do. I love the characters. I've loved seeing what they've done in, the universe. I do. From the couple of comics that I have read of Marvel, I do really enjoy it. But I grew up with DC. I've loved DC for, my life. And that's everything they do. I'm like, and I feel like in a way, like, Marvel's kind of softer,
Well, no, that's the appeal. Like, definitely, once you start aging, once you get older, like DC is obviously a little more appealing to adults. Definitely when you have fucking Batman. Batman is a dark character. Like Batman he's literally a dark character, and there's a dark theme surrounded around this character. I think Marvel overdoes it with some of the goofy shit. Certainly in comparison. So certainly as you get older, I mean, you learn to appreciate some of these characters a little more because they have a more adult theme than some of some of the Marvel characters. So I can appreciate them in different elements. I'm not a guy that as you can see back there, like I love both of them. that's just me personally. You know what I mean? I enjoy both of them, but certainly from just a straight print aspect, I'm a DC guy in that element. Though I own about the equal amount of DC comics, and which is a lot, and Marvel comics, but certainly just from a relatability stand, is that even a word? It's just more relatable. DC comics, because I'm a grown ass man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll say, I mean, I feel like the most I've seen of Marvel when I was a kid was like the Fantastic Four stuff. So I was really into the Fantastic Four when I was a kid. Like I loved Mr. Fantastic. I thought he was cool. Like even though his superpowers like weren't the coolest, I just liked him as a character. I thought he was really cool.
Yeah.
But again, like Superman, Batman, that is what like the first introduction to superheroes, that was it. That's what got me into it. And then like I remember the first comic I ever read was a Dr. Fate comic, and he's not even a very well-known character in the DC universe, but I liked him a lot. I thought he was really cool. And then obviously Wonder Woman. So it was just, that's what I was raised on. So that's what I, know more about. But I do like Marvel. Like my first Marvel superhero that I was introduced to wasn't the Fantastic Four. It was actually Thor, because that's what my mother liked.
Yeah.
But, then Fantastic Four, they came out with their movies. I learned about it because they would make toys that would come with the comics. So that's how I got introduced to it. And then what else and then Captain America. I really liked Captain America. I thought I loved the whole idea of the shield, because, usually, Thor's got his hammer, weapons and stuff, but he's got a shield. And I thought that was something that was interesting to me.
Yeah, for sure.
My 6-year-old self. Where was I at? Jaime H, thank you for the super chat. Betting Danvers dies early in game. Rambo, now of age, inherits and swoops in to save the day. We get rid of Brie, SJW, and get a woke everyone's hero.
I was it's funny. Again, in my video where I did the top 5 best possible endings to it, one of them was, I can't remember, it was number 4 or 5, fucking I don't know, but I did mention that Monica Rambeau, because she is apparently supposed to be in this movie, but she's a kid, so that will put her on pace to be an adult. Now granted, from a source material standpoint, that doesn't make any fucking sense. But I guess that's a worst possible case scenario, is if they kill off Danvers and let Monica Rambeau be Captain Marvel. But be Photon Captain Marvel. Don't be like Kree powered Captain Marvel or anything like that. I would be 100% down for that if they killed off in that aspect. Like I said, the best case scenario, if they wanted to go into Endgame with the most hype, kill her off, bro. Straight up. That's all you got to do, is kill her off. Make the end credit scene be her maybe even looking at the pager, but then disappearing because she was part of the half of the universe that got wiped out. Let that be the case. If they want to go into it with the utmost hype and even redeem themselves slightly going into Endgame, that will be 100% sick. And just, let whatever happen. Monica Rambeau, that would be a plus. But to me, the best case scenario, kill her ass off. Just kill her off.
Seriously. And I mean, we talked about this a little bit off the air, but there was this rumor that's been going around that they actually filmed 2 different endings to Endgame. One of it is when Captain Marvel is beating him, and then the other is where Captain America and Black Widow beat Thanos, which both of those don't make sense because that's not what happens. But and rumors, about that, and then they're saying like it depends on how well Captain Marvel does, because there's a lot of backlash, and then all of the actors and characters, the characters that they play, they're saying, hey, like, what, that doesn't make any sense. We've been doing this for 10 years. Why is this woman coming in and all of a sudden she's going to be the one that beats Thanos? So it was backlash from us as fans, and then the people in the production themselves.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's true, but fingers crossed. I mean, that would be a spoiler, but I would be down to see Captain America and Black Widow beat him over Captain Marvel.
Yeah. That's the thing. If they were going to make the established, like, it would have been preferable for the Iron Mans of the world to be part of, I mean, it would be badass just from that even though it wouldn't, again, from a source material standpoint, it wouldn't make sense from a comic book standpoint. But that is the best case scenario with the guys that have been introduced, is to let them be part of the defeat, the established character. I would think Iron Man being part of, because he's the one that popped this shit off. You know what I mean? So him being a part of that would make a little more sense. But the thing is if they're going to introduce a character to defeat Thanos, they picked the wrong person to do it. They should have did Warlock or Marvel, Captain Marvel. Yeah. That would have made 100% more sense, and it would have made more sense for them to be like, all right, well, we just introduced these characters out of nowhere, but from a source material standpoint, it makes sense for Adam Warlock too. They could have made it again. They still could do that. They still could have been like made a spin on it, like Adam Warlock is somehow in the Soul Gem. You know what I mean? Like they could have made that connection. Like he's in the Soul Gem, so he's in the Soul world. And you know, he works his way out of there, and he comes in. That would have made 100% sense. That would have been a comic book accurate and all of that. But they, for whatever reason, introduced a character that nobody cared about in Captain Marvel, and it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Adam Warlock. I saw. Hold on, just somebody in the chat. Just because I wanted to clarify, somebody Adam Warlock though totally thought it was Nebula that stopped Thanos. Well, the first time Thanos gets defeated in the comics ever was by Marvel, when he got a hold of the Cosmic Cube, which is basically what the Tesseract is, give or take. That's what the Tesseract was based off of, is the Cosmic Cube. This was before the gems ever existed. And then after that, Adam Warlock defeated him. And then after the Thanos quest, and after he gets the Infinity Gauntlet, Nebula didn't defeat him. Nebula just he slipped up. He became God stature essentially, because he defeated eternity. He defeated all these cosmic beings, and he became one with the universe, if you will. Thanos did, and then but he left his body in the flesh. And Nebula, who he was keeping around basically as this jacked up trophy, made a lunge to take the gauntlet off of his body, which is just laying there, Thanos's body. So then she has it. And so yeah, then
all in a video.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And then Warlock beats. This is all in the Infinity Gauntlet arc. Then Warlock is part of the actual defeat, and then by the end of the original Infinity Gauntlet, Warlock he's a supreme being. He's wearing the Infinity Gauntlet, and then he goes on his own little adventure where they broke all the cosmic. What is it? Damn, the cosmic being, essentially the strongest one, and that's the one that does all the judgment. Right? Basically said, hey, you gotta split these. You ain't mentally ready for this shit. So you gotta split
all the power at once.
Yeah, you gotta split them. So that's when he gave everybody. So like it's a silly run, but it makes a little sense. It's called the Infinity Watch for those that are into this. But Moondragon
covers all of them, so go check that out.
Bingo, yeah. So you got like Moondragon. None of these characters have existed. Gamora has existed, and she gets one. A gem, but you have like Pip the Troll, Moondragon, Drax the Destroyer. Who else? I can't remember who else, but Thanos ends up getting one. Again, he gets to like I think maybe the reality gem. I can't remember, but Adam Warlock gives Thanos, great idea, right? He gives him after defeating him, and gives him a fucking gem. So Nebula didn't quite defeat him. She just momentarily had it for an issue, the gauntlet, but then Warlock got it. So Warlock is, if we're talking source material, the two people that originally defeated him, you have to include Captain Marvel if you want to go OG shit, and then after that was Adam Warlock. That's what you got to do.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I haven't talked about this on the air, but I talked about this with my friend, and how, they want to make a standalone, comic book movie, but like for Marvel, like with a female character. I was thinking, and I was like, this would be really interesting if they did this. That would really add to the dynamic of Thanos. If they did kind of like a prequel, and they just did like the standalone movie, but it stars, Nebula and Gamora, and it shows
Eros, Mentor. That would have made more sense. If they introduced all those guys. Like that would have. I would have preferred it that way. I would have preferred like a movie in there, because again, these are characters that are important to this character we have not heard of. What the hell is Mentor? What the hell is Eros? Kronos is his grandfather. Cosmic Being, where is he? Where's
characters, and it would make people, because I personally don't like I don't like Nebula. When I'm watching her, I don't like her.
She's
like
goofy.
It kind of irritates me. I'm an older sibling, so I know what it's like to have, a younger, more annoying sibling, which is what I see as Nebula. So if they would have shown that dynamic and shown, that rivalry, kind of like how they showed Thor and Loki. And you grow to understand Loki. And so when, Thor is always trying to, protect his brother, and even though he always betrays him, he still loves him. So if they would have shown that kind of dynamic, and would even added more, and at the end you can show, the scene from, Infinity War, where Thanos does sacrifice Gamora, and it would add so much more emotion to that.
Yeah, most definitely. Because
of being one,
yeah, there's so much. Like Thanos is I can just from a historical standpoint, I didn't think it was weird. I mean, because they built him up. Like he would show up in credits. They built him up. But I would have liked for there's characters that were there that I think are important to his being that aren't there. Like again, like I said, like Mentor, Eros, Lady Death, Kronos. Like these are people that are important to be there. And then again, the three most notable heroes when it comes to his defeat or his rise is Captain Marvel as in Marvel, Warlock, Silver Surfer. You could even threw damn Quasar in there, somebody, but none of those guys are and the only people that are in there right now that have historical context really are, you can throw Gamora in there and all those, but it's really Drax. Drax was literally created to by Kronos to defeat and they have no connection there, right? And they don't make that connection in Marvel Cinematic Universe.
They don't know. They didn't read it. They didn't do their research.
Yeah, of course they didn't do their research. It was like, oh, just put them in there, man.
This character sounds cool. Okay, let's bring this one in. Let's do this. And then the one person in the back of the room that knows, but they're like, fuck, I can't lose my job.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah, like this is not, and again, like it's so much, even with the characters that are there that they could, like I said, Drax is in there, like they have him. He's in the Guardians of the Galaxy. Granted, he's not the Drax the Destroyer I think of, but he's at least there. So, he has his reason for literally existing is to defeat Thanos. Like that's literally why he was created. But now they have this sort of dumbed down version of him. But even like the second depiction of Drax when because he went away and then he was recreated again by Kronos, where he had these like mental issues. He wasn't as smart as he was, which is why he talks kind of like he does now. Now, when he was originally created, he was the real deal. Like Drax was the real deal. But they have him in the universe, and they could make that connection. But I mean, I don't know. I think there's a lot of opportunities that they have that that are, even if they didn't want to introduce new people, they could have just, hey man, just read a goddamn comic, man. That's really all you gotta do.
But that's like they've never read the books. They're just going off of things that they think are cool. Yeah. But they just don't understand. But we could go on about this forever. I'm just gonna try to blow through some of these.
Yeah.
David Bush, thank you so much for the $50 super chat. Wow, thank you. That's very generous. Thank you guys for the collaboration. Well, you are welcome. I watch all three of you. Keep it up. Well, thank you. We will. Michael Easterwood, thank you for the super chat. Ben Foster as Moon Knight would be dope. I'm blanking on who that is.
Moon Knight. I don't know. I don't know who the hell I would think to play Moon Knight. That'd be such a hard character to bring to life. It'd be a good idea. I think it would be a great idea. I think people would be into it, but that's a hard character to make. Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't know who it's not even more so who they get to play. It's more like how they would try to make that depiction accurate of Moon Knight. I think would be a little difficult. I say go for it though if they can. I think people will like that character.
He looks familiar. I just Googled him. He's in something. I recognize him, but I just don't. Yeah, I've seen this guy before. It's just not ringing a bell on what. But there you go. I mean, see Disney and Marvel, you got free ideas. Harry Bitten Sky, thank you for the super chat. My wife and I went to see Alita yesterday, and we loved it. Thanks for all that you do.
Y'all can make me see that tonight. Everybody keeps saying it's such good. I haven't seen it yet.
Go see it. It is very
I might
good.
have to just make it. Maybe I go tonight. Who knows?
Dude, go see it. It's good.
Yeah, I might have to go check it out.
All right. The Price is Right review. Thank you for the super chat. Jeremy, remember Batman Alex Jones? Well, thank you for the super chat. Jeremy isn't here, but I'm pretty sure he saw that. Let's see. Glass Cannon, thank you for the super chat. What would change your mind about Captain Marvel? Also, do you think they will put young Ghost at S.H.I.E.L.D. in Captain Marvel for a cameo? Love stream. Or love this. I'm assuming you left out a word. Love the stream. Thank you. What would change my mind? If it's good.
Yeah, if it's a decent movie, right? I mean, that's
like they didn't like if the marketing is completely different from the movie.
Yeah, that would. I mean, for me, they just need to kill her off. Like I can't say enough. Like I wouldn't back up on my criticism because that was literally what I predicted. But for me, if they want me to be any way intrigued, because again, this movie was set up for sandwiched it in between the biggest cliffhanger and the ultimate end game. That's why I mean, come on. But for me, I think they would have to kill off. I don't like the character. I mean, I never liked the character. And I think that it's totally unfair to have her exist to defeat Thanos. She's not old. She doesn't deserve that. She doesn't deserve that. So for me, it would be kill her off. She died. If she died,
mm-hmm.
I would make a movie praising even if the movie sucked, I'd be like, it gets nothing less than an 8 because they killed her off. And they should have did that. They should have did that for if it was gonna exist, just kill her off. Just kill her off, and I'll forgive these guys.
I won't forgive them, but I'll be like, oh, at least they made a good decision. I'm still like, I had to listen to that BS. But hey, thank you for helping me monetize it. So
yeah, there you go. That's true. That's very true. That's very true. Maybe you're on to something with that one.
Let's see. Spectrum Z, thank you for the super chat. Greeting from the UK. Here is a peace offering. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And hello to everyone watching from the UK. Darth Vader. Hello, Darth Vader. Thank you for the super chat. This is for you, Miss Anna. Well, thank you. Thank you, Lord Vader. Darth Sidious, thank you for the super chat. Is Ivan the only one on your team that watches Arrowverse shows like Arrow, The Flash, etc.? I believe so. I don't watch them. My best friend Sav has been like badgering me to watch them, but I mean, I've been hearing her talk about them for years, so I kind of know everything that happens. So it's like, I'm one of those people that if it's on Netflix and I have time, I'll watch it. But do they just come on Netflix? I think somebody said something about it being on Netflix.
What the like the Arrowverse? They've been on there. They've been over there for a little bit. They're all right. Yeah. No, I watched all of them. The only one I won't watch now after 3 seasons is Supergirl. I just can't do the shit.
That's what I heard.
That shit is that I can't do it. I'm sorry. I tried. I actually I stuck it out for a lot longer than I know other people did, but I just can't do that show. That show is I literally can't. I just can't do it, man. I tried.
Is it like SJW?
No, it's like SJW times a million. Like it's blue check mark leftism in show form. Like it is the worst. It is the absolute worst. And like I said, I did it for 3 seasons until like earlier in that third. I was like, look, man, I'm done. I'm done. I just can't. They're insulting me by this point, and then I just can't give them the viewership, man. I gotta turn this shit off. So I'm done.
That sucks. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so, like that, somebody mentioned the video. Actually, that was my first video that like. So I guess I gotta credit Supergirl because my channel blew up with the comic book stuff. I already had the political stuff, but my channel blew up because of my Supergirl video that I did. So at the very least, I can thank them for that, for giving me the material to do a video and say this is the worst crap that I've ever
had to watch.
Yeah, I just this is garbage. Yeah, that video is almost at 1 million views. So that's my most viewed commentary video. So yeah, 948,000. So most definitely, thanks Supergirl writers for that. But the show sucks.
Let's see. Second Street Marvel, thank you for the super chat. This is awesome. I just started following you recently. I've been watching Young Ripa, and I've been meaning to check out G&G. Well, welcome. I'm glad that you were enjoying this. I hope everyone is enjoying this collab. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, it's been fun, man. I love it. We can do it again and again and again. It's fun.
Yeah. Let's see. Lynn Quest, thank you for the super chat. Don't care left or right as long as you're on my level. See, that's all we really need to ask for.
It, man.
Like, I'm pretty sure that, me and Eric, even though we just started meeting, that there's things that he, feels strongly about, and there's things that I feel strongly about, and, we can disagree on things. That's normal. I mean, I don't expect every single person to share the same opinions as me. And I got into an SJW came and wrote me a novel, and I had to explain to them because they're like, I can't stand what you're saying about Captain Marvel. Like, you're, being so hypocritical. Like, this is a woman. And I was like, listen, you're getting very upset over this video. There are opinions that not everyone is going to share. Like me, I'm a very picky eater. I do not like the taste of water. I have heard my entire life, Anna, you're crazy. Water doesn't have a taste. I'm like, well, you know what? It does, and I don't like it. I don't like water. I have to put, Mio in my water. That's why my water is like that. That's why my tongue is red, because I put, Kool-Aid stuff in my water because I don't like the taste of it. And I had to explain that to them. I was like, it doesn't bother me that the rest of the world likes water. It does, because this is my personal opinion. If you like water, that's fine. I don't eat vegetables. A majority of people eat vegetables. It doesn't bother me. I don't lose sleep at night because somebody likes something that I don't. And they're just like, they sent me another long novel and just like didn't even say anything about what I said. But yeah, so it's like everyone has different views on the world. As long as you can be level-headed and logical and have a conversation, that's where it matters. Yep. Not by insulting people.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. The Price is Right review. Thank you again for another super chat. Civil War is why I chose the Justice League all day over the Avengers, because the Avengers are leashed to the government, i.e. SHIELD, therefore corruption from within.
Hey man, that's the limit that we. I'm gonna do a video actually on like the most libertarian superhero. I've been asked to do that so often. It's so fun because that to me is what I look for when I read comics. I'll be like, man, this is like status as hell, man. Like somebody goes and works with the government official or some shit like that. And I'm like, oh man, like one of my favorite scenes ever in a comic is the Silver Surfer. I can't remember the issue, the original Silver Surfer. And I can't remember the issue, but there was this guy trying to this android from this really technologically advanced world, right? And he comes to serve this one because he had just supposedly killed Thanos, Silver Surfer, and he tried to serve him to summon, saying, "Hey man, you got to come to court for this shit." And Silver Surfer was like, "I don't answer to y'all." I was like, libertarian fucking Silver Surfer right there. That was amazing. But no, I like to look out for stuff like that. But those are cool storylines. To me, what I look for just from a philosophical standpoint, when to me, those are like the most intriguing. This is why Civil War to me was at the very least intriguing, because you had that conflict of working with the state versus not working with the state. I like that. To me, that to me is an intriguing storyline. But I think I'm gonna do a video like on like the most like libertarian like superheroes. A lot of people have asked for that. I think it'd be intriguing.
Well, I mean, I like that when me and Jeremy, like when we first talked, because I didn't know a lot about him. I just like people had messaged on my comments. They're like, hey, go check out Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. I went, I liked his content. I, reached out, and then he's like, hey, like, can I call you? Can we have a conversation? Just like, because he admitted, he's like, I didn't know if you were like real or not, or if you one of those like fake fangirls online. And I was like, thank you for, being honest with me about that. Because I get that a lot. And it's something that I've heard my entire life. But, once people talk to me, they're like, okay, yeah, obviously you're not. He asked me his questions, and I'm like, all right, I got to ask you this one question. And this is either going to make or break it. Are you on Cap's team or are you on Iron Man's team? And he's like, Caps. And I was like, okay. We can be friends. So I understand Iron Man's backing, but I don't think you should ask for permission to save someone.
Yeah. Like it's status as hell. Like it triggers. I get triggered by that shit, man. Like I ain't gonna lie to you. But no, man. Those storylines are when I see though. I think those conflicts, man, are like are cool to me. When I see those conflicts, when I see people defy, I don't know, when I see people defy the state, that to me is just, I'm like, that if you're writing a story, if I get a lot of people who want to send me shit in PO box and shit, you want me to be intrigued by your story, write a story where the hero tells the state to fuck off, and you got me. You got me intrigued just by that. I don't think that's something done enough. I think a lot of heroes, unfortunately, always like work with the state. You know what I mean? And I wish that would stop, because what it does is it appeals too much and too often to the idea that you got to go through the state to be a good person, or the state has to set the foundation. They're the benchmark for what is good, right, and what is just. You know what I mean? So that's just me.
That's a bunch of different people's opinions that have voted on to what's right and what's wrong, and that's one of the things that I love about Batman is, he tried to do, the justice system, and it didn't work, which is why he takes justice into his own hands.
Yeah.
People. That's what Batman does. And, they hate him because they're like, you need to listen to us. You need to follow the justice system. And Batman's like, no, fuck you. It's not working. I'm going to fix it. And I'm going to break the rules, and I'm going to get the shit done that you can't.
Yeah. Like that, those to me are the most intriguing story. Writers, like I said, for all those independent comic guys, you want me to be intrigued by your shit, right that, and you can have that, even that conflict exists, because what it always is, just like real life. I mean, if you defy the state, even no matter if it's for good, it comes with its consequences. And I think that those are always cool narratives for people to sort of entertain. I think that because it's a real life thing. It's like, because you do have this powerful entity that unfortunately interferes with people trying to do the right thing.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Force Ghost Jeremy, thank you for the super chat. Elon Musk for Batman. I mean, think about it. Rich billionaire.
He's Batman now.
I know he is. He does not. I saw this post on Facebook like years ago, and it's like there's over like 100 billionaires in the world. Why have none of you become Batman? And it's like, seriously, if I was a billionaire, that's the first thing I would do. I'd build a bat cave, and I don't care that I'm a girl. I don't fucking care. I don't want to be Batgirl. I want to be Batman. And I can't be Batman. You're like a girl. You'd be Batwoman. I was like, no, fuck that. I want to be Batman. Batman's cool.
The story has already been written, man. You got the source material, man. You got the blueprint already.
Come on, you got the money. You can do. And you know what's cool is all like the people that you would hire to do this, they would 100% keep your secret because they'd probably be fans and they'd want to help you.
Yeah. Oh man, 100%.
You can call like up Elon Musk and be like, "Yo, I want to be Batman, and I want you to be, I want you to be my real life modern day supplier. I want you to make me all that shit.
Be my Lucius Fox, man."
Yeah, exactly. I want you to do it. He'd probably be down.
Oh, he'd probably be 100% down.
Oh my goodness. That would be like, why haven't these, like, you're failing if you are a billionaire and you are not Batman, you're failing. I'm sorry.
You're doing it wrong. You're billionairing wrong, man.
I know. You got one life to live and you're not Batman. Come on, guys. Let's see. Thank you for the super chat, Force Ghost Jeremy. Aaron Friedman, thank you for the super chat. Grew up with DC animated series. Quick Q coming up. Huh? Quick Q, question coming up? Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. Let's see. David Cunningham, thank you for the super chat. If you are given the power to banish all SJWs from all fandoms, but if you do so, you erase all Christopher Nolan's films, what would you do? Ah, shit.
I mean, I ain't got no shame in my game. Like, I'm pushing the button. They got to get up out of here. Like, we get rid of whatever we got to get rid of. It's unfortunate, but these guys are a disease, man. They got to get physically removed, man, like from the host. You know what I mean? And the host is the material and the subcultures that we are part of. They got to get up out of there. So whatever it takes, obviously not aside from like using like literally like nuking them off the, like, I'm not saying that we should like eliminate them for real, like in the flesh. I'm saying that
ideology.
Yeah, like from the ideology standpoint, like they got to get up out of it. Dude,
here's what here's how I see it. It's like you go back and look at American history. It was all Native Americans. Then, they came over and they gave them blankets infected with smallpox. That's kind of exactly what happened with SJWs. SJWs are the smallpox. They got a hold of the blankets, which is, the comics, the movies, the entertainment industry. Entertainment industry got infected with smallpox. We need someone to come up with this vaccine to save the world from smallpox. And once that vaccine gets to everyone, then everyone's like, okay, yeah, we need to get rid of smallpox. Smallpox is bad. It's killing everything. There's that rumor going around that, Disney might cancel their Marvel comics because they're losing money because of Captain Marvel. It's like, yeah, get us that vaccine. Let's cure, the entertainment industry of smallpox, and let's go on with our merry way. So I would say, yes, I'd push the button, but because I have all the knowledge of what Christopher Nolan did, I'd go and do it myself.
Yeah. Hey, they got to go. As far as I'm concerned, they got to go. I mean, get them up out of there, man. Whatever we got to do, get them up out of there.
Get out of my entertainment. Get out of my Star Wars. Get out of my superheroes. I don't want you.
Get them up out of there, man. That's all I'm saying.
Rashid C, thank you for the super chat. You guys should talk to Jody's Connor and J3 Entertainment. I see you having good combos on Star Wars, Marvel, and beauty pageant culture politics affecting geek culture. I don't exactly know what the beauty pageant culture politics is, but and I don't know who those channels are, but I will definitely check them out. I will keep all of this list of suggestions open, and I will check it out. Are you familiar with any of that in the super chat?
I'm not. I certainly wasn't. So
yeah, I don't exactly understand what the beauty pageant culture is, but thank you for the super chat. I will look into that more. That you might have just made a new topic for a new video. Let's see. The Price is Right review. Thank you for the super chat. Jeremy, just to let you know, Josiah sold you out for having chicken legs under your soy pants. Well, Jeremy's not here. But yeah, Jeremy is very skinny. Yeah.
Oh, man. That's funny.
Let's see. Oh, shoot. I scrolled and everything. Snow Dub Music and Entertainment. Thank you for the super chat. You guys are awesome. And thank you, Jer Army F. Ambular. I don't know what that word means, but thank you. Thank you for the super chat and the compliment. Larkin's Lair, thank you for the super chat. Awesome collab. 2 of my favorite YouTube channels. Keep it up. Thumbs up. Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that you like this. I'm glad you guys are all enjoying this. I'm enjoying myself. This is
fun time. Fun time.
All right, let's see. Carnival Man Jones, thank you for the super chat. The new She-Ra is an example of SJW bad writing. Oh my God, I haven't watched it yet, but I've seen the designs. Have you watched it?
No, man, but it sounds terrible. From what I picked up, so I don't.
It looks so bad.
I don't want to go there, man. I'm gonna try not to go there. But I've heard the absolute most terrible things about it.
I'm just you take She-Ra, who was this incredible warrior woman, and you turned her into a 12-year-old girl, and you expect me to look up to her. You expect me to respect her. I mean, and that's one of the greatest things that was about, the He-Man and the She-Ra show, is in each episode they teach you a lesson. And even after, the episode's over, one of the characters tells you oh, He-Man learned this, during this, that you need to be you need to read more, or you need to, not destroy things. And, they teach you a cute little lesson at the end, and it's nice. It's not bad, which is, I don't know why. It's why would you fix something that's not broken?
Hey, because SJW, they literally, they exist to ruin what already exists. That's why they're there. That's what they try to do. They go out their way to ruin shit that exists. That's already established.
Smallpox. Psychic Media, thank you for the $100 super chat. Holy shit, thank you so much, dude. You've been a longtime supporter of my channel, so I really appreciate this. I am that Star Wars girl fan, and I've been supporting for a while now. Her passion for Star Wars renewed my faith in humanity. To Jeremy and Eric, props for having Anna's back. You guys inspire me as well. Keep doing the great work you do, and Anna music coming soon. Oh, thank you for that. And I think you're talking about David Bowie, but thank you. Yeah, I'm a huge. When I talk about music, I'm very particular. I love classic rock, and I'm David Bowie for life.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Eddie Drake, thank you for the super chat. Just saw Alita and loved it. See, you need to go see it.
And they like, I'm literally like tempted to like go see it tonight. Like I'm really tempted.
Do it.
I'm tempted as hell.
Totally kick Brie the Cheese Larson's fake butt. Oh my god, yeah, she could. She 100% could. She could probably take on Thanos. M43 OD, thank you for the super chat. The days when you wish writers wrote for comics the way Downhauser writes for the Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead. Oh my god. You would think, I mean, I don't understand how people like this get to the places that they are. It really baffles me. Like, how the hell do those people get a job? How do SJWs get jobs? I don't understand.
That's a good question. Like I say, I mean, it's I don't know, man. Like that, my assumption or my guess is that they are. I mean, they're diversity hires, man. Like somebody was able to convince them that this was a good idea to have them a part of these communities, and part of positions of power that they can shot call, and I think that's why they're there. That's the only thing that I can think of, like straight up.
It's like somebody got in, because a lot of the times when you get jobs, it's because of the people that you know, and I've learned that as an adult.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah, as when you're like in high school, they're like, oh, it's all about like writing a resume, and then like in college, they really
it's who you know, baby.
You need to go out and fucking talk to people, because you're gonna get a job because your friend has a job, and they're gonna say, oh yeah, I remember that one person, let me hire them.
Yep, it's who you know, man.
We got hired, and they're just like, oh, let's get my friend, like, because you know they act cool at first, and they don't show their SJW craziness, and then all their friends get a job, and then it's everything is that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's how it works. I mean, that's just how the shit works for sure.
Real freaking life. Let's see. Make it anyone. Thank you for the super chat. Thanks for advertising to use my Thor hammer as a gavel. Yeah, no problem. One of the things is people like, yeah, they'll watch the content for you, but I get so many comments about people that say like, oh, I'm like looking at all your stuff in the background, kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, when I watch Eric's videos, I was looking at all of his, posters in the background. Like,
yeah, so everybody always, oh man, sick poster in the background. It's like, that's why I keep swapping them out. Like if you notice, like when I first started doing videos, I started moving shit around because I like,
yeah, because it's like what works with you, and what works with camera angles and whatnot.
Yeah, so I'm like moving shit around.
If you watch my first video, it's like nothing because this is my art studio. But then I have all these posters and stuff, and I started putting them up, and like my boyfriend, he likes all this stuff, but he's not the biggest fan. Like I put a Return of the Jedi poster up, and he's just like, Anna, that doesn't go with the rest of the house, and I'm like, but baby, I like it. He's like, but it always looks cool in your videos, and I was like, all right, touche.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so I have so many posters that I don't have the wall space for.
Yeah, same here. Like I got shit like that doesn't even get seen like on my like what I'm looking like. For example, I got my triple monitor set up as a wall behind it. Like I got shit up there that nobody even sees, man. But I'm trying to like go, I guess, monthly and like move shit around just so I can give them a different look because I got so much cool shit.
Yeah, I think I might start doing that too. I've had everything like the way it's set up just because I hate getting up on ladders and like moving.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
It is, but I'm planning because I have all my action figures, so I'm planning on getting rid of like this bookshelf and putting like a display case there for action figures. But I don't know if you've ever seen Neurotic's channel. His setup is so cool. His walls are literally like action figures pinned to the wall. It's like the coolest setup ever.
Yeah, I'm always thinking of shit because I got like all of these little dumbass pops. Like I got a million of these stupid things. And I think I'm gonna I'm trying to, I don't know, man. Like I need to figure out how I can utilize. I think I got enough wall space to put racks or some stupid shit up there that I can put shit in and stuff like that. Like I just gotta figure out how I'm gonna do this. But I got so much shit. I got so much shit.
I have my shelves, and I have my stuff on them. I feel like I could do it better. It's all with like working and seeing what looks good.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
Let me see. All right. Leon Embers, thank you for the super chat. Glad to see you on the stream, Anna. Love your passion. We need more women like you and Jesse speaking out against the NPC narrative. Well, thank you. I'm glad that you enjoy my content and that you actually watch it. RC from New York City, thank you for the super chat. What's up, Anna? What's up, Young Ripa? What's up, Jeremy Prime? Hope everyone is well. Keep fighting the fight, peoples. The revolution will be Twitterized. Oh, it already is.
Most
like
definitely.
Twitter civil war right now.
Yeah, man, trust me, man. They ain't fighting. They ain't fighting a clean fight, y'all. They not fighting a clean fight.
And we're gonna win because we have facts on their side, which is why they're fighting dirty. Because they know.
Yeah, exactly. They low blowing, man. So, but we'll win. We'll win nonetheless.
Yep. Carnival Man Jones, thank you for the super chat. For Young Ripa, you like Injustice comics and game?
Oh man, hell yeah. Fuck yeah. Definitely the game. If you've watched, I don't do a lot of as much gaming, streaming gaming as I used to. But if you were into those, I played like hell, even not my last stream before that, I played a little bit of Injustice. I think it's really just a solid fighting game. So yeah, most definitely. I'm in all of that. I like that whole setup. And I really do hope that they keep making those fighting games. Injustice 3 with some new characters. I do love that element that they're introducing some of these characters and putting them in fighting games, DC based characters. They're really fun.
Yeah, they've asked me about it. I've never played it, so
it's fun. It's so good. Definitely the second one. The second one, like for sure, is really competitive. What's up?
What type of game is it? Is it like first person or third person?
Well, no. Well, Injustice is just a 1v1 fighting game. Like it's just and it just has a lot of it plays like Mortal Kombat. It's made by NetherRealm team, the same guys that do Mortal Kombat. And it's so it's basically Mortal Kombat with DC heroes.
Okay. I'm not
fun.
very good at video games.
Like
my mom, like again, there is a lot of she's like, you're already weird enough already because I was her like little child that she expected to be like a blonde cheerleader, which I'm obviously not. And I'm like sitting there like, talking about Star Wars and lightsabers, and she's just like, oh my god, what happened? Like, what did I produce? And so she's like, no video games, none of this stuff. She's like, you're weird enough already. And I'm just like, okay. So now as an adult, I'm like, all the stuff I would have loved growing up, and like now I finally have access to it. Because also I remember when the internet like became a thing. I remember like you couldn't be on the phone if you wanted to be on the
phone. No, that was when I was a kid. Like that was the era. I remember AOL dial up, Net Zero, Alta Vista, all of that. Being on the phone, knocking my moms off the internet because I picked up the damn phone. I remember those days. For sure.
I remember when caller ID was invented.
Oh man, god damn. Like yeah, man, with the little shit on the phone. Like I had an external one, you had the external one, and then like you got really advanced, you had the damn call ID on the phone. Like that was when you was really balling, when you had that, when you had it on the phone and shit like that. But man, those were the days.
I know. Let's see. M430D. Marvel's Hawkeye versus Solid Snake. Who wins? Well, I'm biased because so I've talked about this before, and everyone always wants me to tell the story. I met Jeremy Renner. He is a complete asshole. I did him a freaking favor, and he was a complete asshole to me. So he's from the same town that I'm from, and his niece is my little sister's best friend, and I went out of my way to pick them up from school because he couldn't do it because he's Jeremy freaking Renner. So I had to leave water polo practice, go pick up these kids, drive all the way across town to go drop them off, then drive all the way back to water polo practice and get chewed out by my coach just because he didn't want to pick him up. And he didn't even say thank you. He was a complete jerk to me.
Damn.
So I'm like anti-Hawkeye just because it's Jeremy Renner, and I know it shouldn't have ruined that character for me, but I'm bitter about it.
That's funny. That's funny. I don't know. I'm not the biggest. I'm okay with Hawk. I don't hate him. But I'm a Snake guy. You know what I mean? I'm a Metal Gear guy. So, I have to go with Snake, just because he's Snake. I mean,
I'm going with him too because Fuck Jeremy.
Just because he's not Jeremy Renner.
I hate Jeremy Renner. Every time I see him, like even when they try to make him nice, I'm just like, fuck you.
That's so funny.
I did you a fucking favor. You were right there. That's one of the things that baffles me. He's literally a mile away. Go pick them up. Go pick them up. Don't make me drive all the way across town, miss practice, just because you're Jeremy Renner. Oh my God. Go pick up yourself.
That's funny. That's fucking funny.
It irks my soul. Like this was over 10 years ago and it still pisses me off.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mrs. Valcor, thank you for the super chat. Anna, I'm a first generation Star Wars fangirl. My brother made fun of me saying girls can't like Star Wars. 42 years later, still a fan. You go, girl. You're awesome. Yeah, honestly. So me and my brother were 17 years apart. So my brother's from my mom's first marriage. Me and my sisters are from her third. So he was, alive when all that Star Wars, like when Star Wars was coming out, he loved it. For some reason, my mom wouldn't spend money on us, but she would, buy my brother all the brand new Star Wars toys when he was a kid, probably because it was significantly cheaper back then. So when my brother, moved out and he left all of his toys at my mom's house, and I conveniently, like Star Wars. So I got all of the hand-me-down stuff. So I guess I'm not considered a first generation, but I mean, I got into it on my own, not because of my brother. He just happened to have the toys, which now are mine. But awesome, girl. That's awesome to hear. And yeah, girls can like Star Wars. I don't know where this whole idea came from that girls don't like Star Wars, that girls don't like comic books, that they need to make women characters, more prominent so that us girls can like it. That's insulting.
It is. It is.
Let's see. Radish C, thank you for the super chat. I prefer animated, mature tone Marvel films from now on. Concrete on characters, action, and story, not just a universe. Someone needs to do, if or heroes for hire, some real justice.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, that is. I don't know, man. I think I don't know what's going on between Disney or what the Netflix deal is. I've heard so many different stories as to what's supposed to be going on with that. But there are a lot of cool things that I think there's a positive and a negative that can maybe come out of Disney coming out with their own streaming service. Maybe we start getting stuff like that, and we get these team ups that we think would cross over. Like I think it was an obvious thing, to have Luke Cage and Iron Fist team up with each other. They didn't really go into it in depth like I wish they would have, but I think Power Man, Iron Fist, I think Heroes for Hire. We'll see, man. We'll see what they do, but I'm not against necessarily the universe element. I think those should exist because it exists in the comics. Continuity is very important. That's what makes comic books unique, is that these characters they exist having their own little stories and shit like that, but those stories exist in the same universe. I think is an intriguing thing. I think that's an important element to keep. But we'll see what happens, man. It could go either way. I don't know if Disney is going to be complete assholes about it and fuck it up, or if they can.
Yeah, that's why I don't want them to touch anything, because at this point, it's like, I would have liked to see that.
I know.
You're going to fuck it up, so please don't do it.
Yeah, I know, man. Like, that's the thing. Like, I think that was, I don't like Disney having them. I like them having the resources to make good shit, but just because looking at their track, their history, right? Mm-hmm. It's like they could really fuck some of these characters up. They could really fuck them up. Like they I mean, we've seen it happen, have we not? I know you certainly are experiencing that in the Star Wars realm more than anything. I mean, so that's the thing. Like they have the positive thing is that they do have the resources to make these characters come to life. And you think that it would be easy to come up with some good shit, but then in the same respects, they have fucked some shit up. So who knows, man?
Yeah, it's just I just don't want that. If they came out and said, "Hey, we're sorry. Like, obviously, this isn't what you guys want. we tried something and it didn't work. We apologize. We just like thought that this was a creative direction that hadn't been explored yet, and we tried something and it didn't work, so we're gonna go try something else. And they go in a different direction. All of us would 100% respect that, because like, okay, yeah, we see that you wanted to try something and it didn't work, so now you're taking credit for your taking responsibility for your actions, you're owning to it, and you're gonna fix it. Okay, then you can start touching stuff if you're gonna do it right, but I don't want you to touch the stuff that I like, because you're gonna fuck it up in the current state. And everyone, we have been streaming for almost 4 hours now, so don't send any more super chats. Once I'm done reading these, I'm probably gonna have our closing statements. We'll end the stream, and since you guys did like this, we will do it again next time. It'll be over on Eric's channel. Yeah, so everyone, I just want to make that up, because I haven't eaten yet today. I'm pretty sure Eric's got stuff he's got to do too.
Man, I got some shit down the stairs with my name on it.
Yeah, I gotta go. At this point, I'm just about to go cup and noodle it. But so
hey, there you go.
This has been a really great stream. I'm gonna read these last couple super chats. We're gonna say our 2 cents, and then we are going to say goodbye to everyone until next time. So with that being said, CS, thank you for the super chat. Anna, thanks for explaining your extra red tongue. Been wondering. Plus, I appreciate that y'all what you all say. Everyone coming together. Besides different opinions. Well, thank you. I'm glad that you appreciate it. Yes, I have explained my red tongue a few times in live streams, and I know sometimes it's orange or purple as well. And I feel like now that's one of the disclaimers I have to say in my videos, because so many people are like, why is your tongue orange? Why is your tongue red? I'm like, guys, I don't like water, and it's like cheaper for it, because I don't like coffee either, and so this stuff has caffeine in it, so I put like a little bit of caffeine, and then I put one that doesn't have caffeine, and I drink it, and it's like the equivalent of my coffee, and it stains my tongue red for like an hour, and then it goes away. See, it's going away. It wasn't as red as it was. Like when you stop drinking it, it goes away. So yeah, that's why my tongue changes colors in videos. So I apologize if that's a distraction. That is going to now be one of my disclaimers when I suppose to. But thank you. I'm glad that you are enjoying the content. Zachargard, Georges, thank you for the super chat. Have you all seen The Dragon Prince on Netflix? I have not yet. I'm one of those people that I have to binge watch, so I like to wait until there's at least like 4 seasons out of something before I start watching it. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it. I have not seen it.
Yeah, it looked cool because they were trying to do like an Avatar: The Last Airbender thing. My best friend Sab watches it. She said the first season was like okay, and she said she watched the second season, but she didn't say anything about it. But it's on my radar. Let's see. Adonis Hannah, thank you for the super chat. Hey, I just subscribed to Young to my man. Keep up the good work. Oh, I see what you. That was confusing, but that's because that's part of your name.
Yeah. Appreciate that, homie.
All right. Yeah. And thank you for the super chat. And thanks for being here and part of the chat. Radish C, thank you for the super chat. I meant check out the YouTubers Jody, Connor, and J3 Entertainment. Oh, I understood what you meant. That's why I said I will check them out. I just had never heard of them or the pageant thing. But yeah, definitely going to check them out. And thanks for the super chat. The Price is Right review. Thank you for the super chat. As I mentioned before, Weibo Jones and Barbara for you to see would be perfect additions to you. Young Ripa, Jeremy's, Josiah, etc. would really enjoy their content. Well, yeah, I am definitely going to check it out. I love all of these suggestions and bringing us all together. So I think that might be something that I'm going to start doing on my channel is I was thinking about this and starting a show called Force Talk, because my channel is That Star Wars Girl, and on that show I'll bring on new content creators that are part of this community, and even possibly having debates with people that have disagreements or that don't agree with the same stance, and see why they feel that way. So yeah, thank you for the suggestions. I really appreciate it. Kronos, thank you for the super chat. Found both your channels earlier today through SJW Captain Marvel vids. Instant fan. Need more people like you two in my life. Well, thank you. And I would highly recommend checking out, others of the Fandom Menace. That is why I wear this t-shirt in all of my videos now. It's because I'm representing our group. And yes, I do wash it, guys. I'm not one of those weirdos that wears the same t-shirt and never washes it. I do wash this shirt very regularly, but I would definitely recommend check out Eric's channel, Young Ripa 59. Go check out, Geeks and Gamers. Go check out Comic Artist Pro Secrets, World Class Bullshitters, Ivan Ortega, Mindless Entertainment, Doomcock, Neurotic, Mecha Random 42, and I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting some people, but those are a lot of good channels. I would highly recommend checking them out. And with that being said, everyone, thank you for being here. It's been a lot of fun. Eric, do you have any closing statements you would like to say?
No, this was fun. Like you said, we'll end up doing it again on my channel. I'm sure we'll be linking up a lot more often. This was very, very fun talking again. I appreciate you, of course, having me here, and of course, your base, sort of welcoming me in. So I appreciate that. This has been fun.
No problem. It's been a pleasure having you here. It's been a pleasure talking. And everyone, thank you so much for being here, for supporting, both of our channels, for supporting the Fandom Menace, and for supporting Common Freaking Sense, because that's not something I would think to have to thank people for, but apparently in 2019, 2018, that's something you got to do now. So everyone, have a great rest of your day, and may the Force be with you, because we are really, really, really going to need it. Goodbye.